You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes.
Welcome, you bastards, back to the Gamecasters, the show that keeps giving despite public opinion. We're here today to bring you our 125th episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds ridiculous that we've put out over 15,000 minutes of content across the last couple of years and racked up reviews from notable game sources over such time as, wow, it's impressive how these people can talk so much while saying so little. Or, the only thing less funny than the shock humor is the regular humor. Or, the Gamecasters managed to take everything wrong with the gaming hobby and pack it into a terribly huge and indigestible 3-hour feast that I can't seem to send back to the kitchen.
That one really hurt my feelings.
I know, that one's harsh.
Yeah.
Or, it reminds me of my little 6-year-old cousin trying too hard to get a laugh out of me by talking about poop over and over again. Or, I kind of like it when the girl gets to talk.
Oh my God.
We've got a delicious show lined up for you today, garnished with some of our freshly sprouted bullshit to go alongside a heaping plate full of utter baloney that will slide down easily after a few sips of hogwash. It's time to begin. So guys, Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, and my name is Ryan if this is your first show. Have you ever wondered why corn comes out in your poop looking like a jit on the cob? Even though you completely shred it to pieces in your mouth while eating it?
Okay.
Because your body doesn't digest it.
No, but you like shred it up. You're like masticating,
really.
and then it comes out. Well, so you just like swallow it like a duck?
No, but like it's like the
whole
outside, you know,
cob.
like the outside part of like the kernel. Like that part apparently, I mean, it's so small, you probably don't actually like break it up with your teeth.
I can't believe she knows that. The answer is you're actually just consuming the content of the kernel, not the shell itself.
Yeah, that's obvious.
So when they come out looking perfectly, in fact, they are just poop-filled corn kernels masquerading as corn-filled corn kernels.
Wow.
There once was a man who found a whole pea floating in the toilet after he pooped. Amazed by how green the pea still was, his curiosity got the better of him. He removed the pea from the toilet, ran it under the tap, and ate it.
That's funny because
unfortunately, it turned out that only the shell was still pea. The inside was poo.
Oh.
Now that you're all properly educated, what is up with you?
Time out. That's a real thing?
I don't think so. Oh. I didn't make it up.
But
I don't think it's real.
I don't understand. Now, so he took the pea out. So if I would reach into my turlet and grab a piece of kernel. Okay?
Kernel.
So I reached in my turlet, grabbed a kern.
Yep.
And if I smushed it, there would be no corn in the corn.
Poo would come out instead of corn.
It would be a poop-filled...
According to...
But you don't poop out corn. It's just in with your poo.
That's what we're talking about.
What did she talk about?
Well, how else would you poop out the corn if it's in with your poo? You don't throw it in there.
No, we're talking about when you poop, you see a kernel of corn inside your poop. Jeff's like, it looks like a kernel of corn. I'm going to take it out and look at it and squeeze it to make sure there's no corn. Uh-oh, it's just poop. It's not corn.
Yeah, for the love of science, I want to know what that corn kernel went through. So I take it out and I examine it.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of the last time I talked a lot about poop, I got in a lot of trouble. So maybe
here we go again. Here we go again.
So there would just be poop in there. So there's no corn.
No.
It's just
it's a poop-filled kernel.
But not like
not like COLONEL.
Right, not like the man in charge. Yeah. Not like that.
Not the highest rank in the military, according to Creed.
Why is that an English language thing?
Colonel
and why is that even said?
I have no fucking clue.
Yeah,
it's probably some different language thing that somebody will know.
The corn in my poop is just a shell filled with poop.
Yeah, it's just poop. It's a poop-filled corn kernel shell.
I would have lived the rest of my life not knowing that.
Same.
Until today.
I don't necessarily know if that's 100% accurate, but user Killer Banana 35 on Reddit seems to think that this is the way it is.
I didn't know that either. When you asked the question, that's just the first thing that popped in my head because it just is like logical.
It's logical. It's logical. So when you see corn in your poop, you think to yourself, you know what's logical about this? I'll bet that's just poop in there. Even though I eat and shred up the corn, it's probably I'm not shredding up the corn.
I don't do that when I see it. I thought about it just right now when you asked me it.
Oh, well, aren't you a fucking genius?
You are so smart.
I always thought I eat corn, but usually I eat them in there's 20 pieces of corn, and then maybe I just swallowed a couple that I didn't fully chew, and then I pooped them out.
That's exactly what I thought.
Natalie.
Right.
Not I completely chewed it up, and the corn kernel shape goes down my poop hole, comes out my poop, and it's shaped like a poop. Yeah, I know.
The casing of the corn. I never thought that either.
Genius.
She's a genius.
Maybe the girl should talk more according to that review.
The girl should.
She's a fucking genius. Okay, genius, what's up with you?
Yeah, what's up with you, genius?
Me? Oh.
No one ever calls someone a genius and means it.
I know. Genius is always a derogatory term. But I mean
genius?
it this time I mean it genius.
What's up with me? What's up with me? Oh, just like stressing over the whole entire month of December.
Okay.
And because there's a million birthdays and holidays and buying gifts and spending money and
like whose birthday?
So busy. Mine and Cameron's and my nephew Peyton's.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Is anybody else's birthday in December
I'm
that you can
for
think
your
of?
birthday too.
I just think of other people, just not part of our family.
Right. Like who?
Yeah, not
Marie.
Kyle's
mom.
Oh, okay.
Kyle's mom.
Yeah, that's kind of family adjacent.
I think today is
your
Andrew's
brother-in-law's
birthday.
Yeah, your brother-in-law's mom. That's her birthday too?
Yeah, well, we wish each other happy birthday.
And who else's
it's
birthday?
the day before mine.
Oh, Gwen's birthday is in
Gwen's
December.
Birthday. We know Gwen.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody else, though. I think you got them all.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
My cousin Andrea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know any birthdays in December, Jeff?
I know. Well, I know a few. Natalie named a lot of them, but also mine.
Oh, right. Yours.
So that's cool. So thanks, Natalie. Don't worry. Your brother-in-law's mom has a birthday in December too. Thank you.
Real quick.
Yeah.
She was just like, I am such a genius that
I'm a genius.
Can anticipate. We are sitting here. We're sitting here and we're like easily. I think it's the most obvious telegraph in the world that it's Jeff's birthday. We're both talking about. We're like, oh, can you think of any other birthdays? And me and Jeff just look at each other.
Yeah,
and
probably,
wink.
but no one that I gave a shit about. No one that I've ever cared about ever.
Oh my God! My sister's husband's mom.
Yeah. Oh, my neighbor's dog. My neighbor's dog has a birthday too. That 3-legged dog that lives next door. It's his birthday too. Fido.
Jeff and I were like clearly like, can you think of anyone else's birthday who's in December?
It's okay. I know my place, Natalie. I know who I am.
Holy shit.
Oopsie.
Oh my God.
And Jesus.
Okay.
I also started painting again, minis.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
what have you been painting?
Wonderland's War.
The box? It's already painted.
How many of those little things have you painted? All of them?
2.
2. Okay. Which ones?
Go ahead.
Queen of Hearts and Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter. Yep. Okay.
She's currently kind of locked in a I don't know, would you call it a competition between Ben
Not a competition.
of Date Night Thrice.
I wouldn't have a painting competition with Ben.
No,
either.
hell no.
No,
He's
not
way better
like
than
whose
me.
is better, but who can finish the Wonderland's War minis faster.
Oh, I could. They're all just blue.
Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
No, that's
so
true.
What
We're
has Ben
trying-
done? Or are you?
No, well, he was in Germany, and
got
so then
him.
I started
German paint.
I started painting them, and I know that he had already started painting them, and then we were kind of like, we're trying to keep pace, I guess, with each other. I mean, I haven't even really discussed this with him too much.
Das ist
but
blau.
it's just happening.
Did you
We're
just
trying
make
to keep
this up
pace.
in your head, this competition?
No, not
talked
really.
about it
Like
with
we've
me,
talked
I
a little bit about it, but like
It was more
it's
of like,
not
let's
official.
both paint this.
It's not really official, but we're both kind of like, well, I don't want him to get way ahead of me, and he's like, I don't want to get her to get way ahead of me, and so we're just
Right.
kind of like
That's-
using that to motivate each other to keep
Yeah.
going. Basically.
Remember when you forgot Jeff's birthday was in December?
I remember that.
I feel really bad. I apologize.
That's all right. You're
It's okay. You should
I
feel
didn't
a
know
little
it.
bit.
It's all right. Your
12th.
brother-in-law's mom's
It's the
really
12th,
important.
right?
It is the 12th.
I
Your,
see. I
your
know the
brother-in-law
date.
mom's really important. Your dad, yeah. Oh, my great godmother Aunt Marie.
That was in my
I met
head
her a few
because
years
we
ago.
were just at my sister's and I saw it on the calendar.
I can't believe you didn't pick up on it. We're like clearly like, who else, Natalie? Who else?
I know. I thought you were just like fucking with me. Just like, oh, there's
Well, we
so
kinda
many.
were,
Well, how-
but-
It's in
we
her
thought
head,
eventually
she's
you'd
like,
get
I
there.
got him. There actually is other people. I'm going to fucking
know.
tell him.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Great Aunt Marie.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, what's up with you?
Okay, so
Not that anybody cares about you.
Yeah. So my birthday's coming up. That's fun.
Or if you're experiencing any leg
And-
pain,
yeah.
right? And you get got, wasn't that your get got that
Yep.
no one even
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
noticed?
Yeah, he's like limping
Ouch.
around.
He's
No one
limping, and we're
cares.
just like, okay, can you move out of the way and go to the bathroom?
Yeah. No one cares.
Get out of my way.
So we are pretty much up to date on that Squid Game thing that I was telling you about
Okay.
last. So
Yeah.
they released 5 episodes and then they released another, or like maybe 4 episodes, and they released another chunk of episodes. The season finale is not till like this upcoming Wednesday. Spoiler alert, the person I know is out.
Oh, he didn't win.
He's out. He's in like the top 30.
Wow.
Out of
And there was like
400
400,
That's
right?
really
So he
good.
did actually do well.
He did well. He got like almost 0 screen time, which kind of sucks.
Oh.
Like he was on the screen, but they never, in
They never
reality
interviewed
shows,
him
they
and stuff.
Yeah, and with
Yeah.
I'm sure
400
they interviewed
people,
him, but he just never made the cut. And he even said, he's like, I did some stuff a lot toward the end to try to make like moves and cuts. He's like, he tried to sit back for a long time, which makes sense from reality
Yeah.
shows. But then he just never made the cut.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Which is lame.
Did you watch as he gets eliminated?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we've seen it. And
I watched you die.
He's gonna try to use this for Well, he actually just got like his chest thing didn't explode. He got like escorted out by the guards.
Oh.
So there are certain challenges that don't like if you die during the games, you get killed, right?
Right.
But if you die during the challenges, they sort of just escort you out.
Yeah.
And with the assumption that they pretend
you're dead.
Yeah.
They killed you.
But hearing some of I don't want to spoil the show for anybody, but hearing some of like the behind the scenes stuff that he knows about how long some of these games took and what the guards did and what was kind of said is like really cool to hear. Like, what is this actually like?
Yeah.
Right. Like one of the things, again, not really spoiling because I just read it on a news story that kind of came out with what the red light, green light thing was. So the red light, green light was like, you have 25 minutes or 30 minutes to get to the end. Okay. That game took like 6 hours.
Right. Because that one lady was just like sitting there.
Yes.
I saw that
and
video.
Maybe did I say this on the last one?
No,
anyway.
I think I researched
There
it.
There was this scene in the first episode where this woman, like when it went red light, she stopped and she was in like the squatted position.
Right.
And the way you watch the show, it seems like she was like, I can't do it anymore and fell over.
Yeah.
And it was like a minute, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. But she was standing there for 15 or 20 minutes in this squatted position until
when the
she
thing was
like,
just staring at her?
Yeah. So I don't know if they have to like do camera angles. They have to make sure people are not whatever they do, but you have to stay still for that 15 minutes. And they stop the timer essentially.
Yeah.
So the timer is almost like it's a gimmick.
It's just for the show.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of that throughout the show, which I think is cool. And just like learning about that stuff was fun. And I still don't think that Justin knows who wins, the guy that was on the show. I don't think he knows.
Did
That
he
makes
speak
sense.
to the conditions of the place? I heard that was pretty
they
bad.
were terrible.
Oh, yeah,
He's
I
like,
heard
that
it
was the
was
worst.
bad.
That was the worst thing about the entire show is that like lights out. There was no time. You couldn't see the outside. You didn't know what time of the day it was. He's like, his best guess was they turned the lights off at like between 1 and 2 and they woke you up at between 7 and 8.
Jeez.
He's like, that was the best guess. There's there's some
clocks
showers,
and
but there's no like personal hygiene stuff. You couldn't shave. There was just, there's no clocks, no nothing.
They didn't have a clock. Holy fuck.
How long was he there?
So he thinks that it's about 14 or 15 days, about 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Was like start to finish. And
Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
He's so close to the end that I think he might say the whole thing was 14 or 15 days, but the extra people, like the last 15 that made it beyond him, there's probably only 2 or 3 days there.
Yeah.
And every day was something. Like they woke up one day and there was either a game or a challenge, and they woke up one day and there was a game or a challenge, and they just
So how long was he there for?
kept going. I think the 2 weeks. Like he was there for about 14
days. Damn.
So we like marathon through that. So that's really the only thing we're kind of like watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have something I found on Reddit that's not poop related.
Oh, well, we'll see.
It's porn related.
Oh, okay.
great.
So are we going?
Yeah.
Is that north or south of where we should be?
I was
think
just
it's
going to say it's
north.
probably not
I think it's
disgusting,
north.
but it definitely could be.
Either way, it's on
It's not
brand
as disgusting.
for us.
It's on brand, and your children still shouldn't listen to this part. But I don't think you're going to throw up in your car.
You never know.
That's
which I
good news.
think the poop thing was borderline.
Some people were sickened.
Yeah. So here is something that Dave Madigan, Donkey Kong, told me about.
Okay.
And he was like, this is one of the funnier Reddit posts I've read in a long time. I'm like, okay, cool.
That sounds great.
And the question, I don't really know, I don't remember what subreddit page it was on, but it's what is the most hilarious porn parody title?
Oh, cool. Okay.
So like take a real movie and turn it into a porno, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you if these are all true. Okay,
If they're
I don't know
actual porn,
Yeah,
you
I don't know if they're
mean? Yeah,
actual
probably
porns
not.
or if it's more just like people being
It's
really
probably like what
creative.
we do in the inbox.
Yeah.
If
You
people
know.
are just being really creative in making these, but okay, they're really funny. So I'm going to start with a list of someone posted like the Disney version. Like here's a bunch of Disney movies that would be okay?
Yeah.
So we got Titty Titty Gang Bang. Okay.
Oh my God.
That's
We got
funny.
Booty and the Beast.
Of course.
Okay.
That sounds like it would be real.
Yeah.
Cherry Poppins. Okay.
Instead of Mary Poppins.
I know.
Oh.
Peepin' Booty.
Peepin' Booty.
Instead of Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
The Little Sperm Maid.
Oh my
Instead
God.
of, that's instead of the Lion King.
The Little
the
Mermaid.
Lion King. Yeah.
Natalie.
Instead of Moana, just Moaner. Okay. The Princess and the Hog. And then here's some ones of like, movies, right? The Curious Taste of Benjamin's Butthole.
Oh my God.
How have we not just thought
I
of that?
have no idea.
That's like when you play a game and you're like, how have I not designed that?
Yeah, some
how
of
have we
these-
not thought about
I know some of these, I'm like, how have we not figured this out? So, The Devil Wears Nada. Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that one is an old. That's like the test of
Okay,
time.
yeah.
Indiana
That's like
Jones.
like Debbie Does Dallas, right? Those are the names. Okay.
Indiana Jones.
Fantastic Breasts and Where to Find Them.
That's funny.
Pulp Friction.
Yep, that's a good one.
That's a good one. 10-inch Mutant Ninja Turtles.
10-inch mute. Oh
Wow.
man, teenage 10-inch. Oh, that's pretty good.
The Hills Have Thighs. Shaving Ryan's Privates.
I love that one.
Oh, yeah.
That's an old standby.
This is the movie's still called Jaws, but the tagline is "We're gonna need a bigger throat."
Oh my god.
You got to open your jaws up wide, Natalie. For
Yeah.
not for me, but for some.
Oh,
you know.
right.
Yeah, of course. Forrest Hump. Throbbing Hood.
Man, that's good.
Schindler's Fist.
Why isn't it Throbbing Wood? Shouldn't it be
Yeah, that's a
Throbbing
good-
Wood?
Throbbing Wood would be a
that's
good one.
better.
Yeah, Schindler's Fist.
Oh no!
Edward Penis Hands. That's
That was
Wow.
good. White Men Can't Hump.
That's true.
That's true.
Titty Slickers.
Titty slicker instead of city slickers, Natalie.
I know.
Cloudy with a Chance of My Balls.
Oh my.
Instead of cloudy with a chance
Yeah.
of me.
I know.
And then the last one, there's like hundreds of them, but I was just going through whatever ones
Yeah,
made me
picking up
laugh
the
the most.
funniest ones.
Men in Black Men 2. Is the last one. And I'll read them.
Black men.
That'll replace the inbox for today.
Oh,
is the,
that's great.
yeah.
So as Jeff kind of just mentioned, that your Donkey Kong gave him the idea for a funny Reddit post. If anybody out there comes across any kind of really funny Reddit post or any kind of funny anything like that, send it to us. We're
we'd love
always
to
looking
share
for
it.
really funny stuff like that to share on the show.
The next
so
steak story or the next.
right, exactly. The next steak, the next you
knife.
or the what's the one you told about the boyfriend and the girlfriend like fucking on the video
Oh,
camera
yeah.
and the whole family saw.
Oh, yeah. Like the pictures came through or
Yeah,
something.
that was
and,
so funny.
Yeah, just
That
good
was
stuff.
funny.
Anything like that, please poop related.
Yeah.
No, anything like that would be really fucking hilarious. We have actually been watching some TV shows as well.
Yeah, what have you been watching?
So the new
Well-
season of Invincible came back. Did you watch the first season of that?
I have not. I've only seen a couple episodes. I haven't got back to it.
They're on
That's-
like a holiday hiatus, so like half of them came out, and then the other
Yeah,
half come
like the
back
first
in the
4.
early.
But what
part
I'm
of next
most
year.
excited about is Fargo.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Fargo.
I've watched maybe two episodes of Fargo.
I think there's only three out.
3.
Okay.
I don't want to
Oh
like
my
overhype it,
God,
but
I love it.
it is. It might be my favorite one, and there's only 3 episodes. Like my
Of
favorite
all 5
season.
seasons?
Give it an
Yes.
arc.
Whoa.
God. You're
So
supposed to be the
far.
genius.
That's sweet. Well, if she's
I'm
That's
really
great.
enjoying it.
yeah, it is
feels
so
like
good.
season 1 and 2 of
Yes,
Fargo.
100%.
Were
It feels
amazing.
like the first 2
Yeah,
seasons.
it's back to what's good
Juno
about
Temple
it.
is in it, who was
Keely.
from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
She's
and she's
fantastic.
great.
And I love
John
John
Hamm's in
Hamm.
it, and he's
Yep.
great. Who else is in
Winston
it?
from New Girl.
Oh, yeah. Winston. Shorty, what that thing
Whoa.
do?
That was my ears.
There's some great accents in there again.
Yep,
Yeah.
they're
That's one of my
back.
favorite part.
They're back
Yeah.
to the
and Steve
geez.
from Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah, Steve
And
from
he's
Stranger
so
Things.
good
He's
in it,
really
Yeah,
good.
he's
too.
one of the cops,
The
right?
He's the
The,
son. Yeah, he's John Hamm's son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far,
I
too.
highly recommend.
Yeah, if you haven't, for some reason, it seems like people don't know about that show. It's crazy because every season of it has more actors than any movie.
Oh my God, there's tons of
And it's just
like really
great.
famous
Yeah.
people.
And you don't have to have gone back and seen. Like, I
No.
would
Each
suggest as a
season-
person to go back and watch
as a human
especially
being
1
living in the
through
world.
3.
Each season is a whole different
one-
story with a
right,
different
1 through 3.
cast.
Yeah, you're not going to miss anything if you just jump into 5.
Yeah, if you start
Yeah.
with season right, exactly. But as Jeff said, just if you're a human being
Yeah,
who
just
likes
watch
who
'em 'cause
enjoys
it's
good
good.
stuff,
Yeah.
season 1 and 2 are some of the best TV you'll watch. I think it's that good. And if you haven't seen the movie,
Yeah.
watch the movie first because that sets the tone for everything.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, you have to see the movie.
But again, you don't
so basically
need to do
spend the
that.
next entire weekend watching Fargo
Watching
the movie
Fargo
and then
related
seasons
things.
1 through 4.
We've
and a half.
also there's this one I feel like also nobody knows about this, but there's this show we had watched on Netflix, and a new season came out, and it's like a French show that's dubbed. And it's called Lupin.
Lupin.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
Lupin.
No.
It's spelled Lupin.
And he's like a gentleman
Thief.
thief.
Like he only steals gentlemen, or he steals really nice clothes or something.
I want to now see a show about a person who
Stealing.
only steals gentlemen.
Oh, you're very nice.
I'm a gentleman.
I'm going to
thief.
take you.
I'm a gentleman. Hello, sir. You mind?
What is a gentleman
It's
thief?
kind of I think like a Robin Hood type guy. right?
Well, I would say more like when you think of a thief or a robber, you think of some like guy in like dark clothes who's like, like really kind of like evil, sneaking
kinda
around.
like a con artist.
Yeah, this
but
guy's more
you,
like
you
a.
root for him. He's not like bad.
I always like shows when you kind of root for the bad guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
wouldn't
he's a
say
bad
he's
guy.
a bad
I wouldn't
guy.
even say he's a bad guy,
But he's a thief. I don't know. Lupin is like some sort of like French fable or French character, like a gentleman thief. Basically, there's like a story about him, and then he like this guy goes by Lupin, and he like does stuff related to like the stories because they were like his favorite when he was a kid or something.
So
Right.
that's his name, Lou.
No, he
Pon.
doesn't go by Lupin. His
Oh,
name
that's not
is
his
something
name.
else.
It's not Lou.
It's just
hey, Lou.
Yeah, no, his name is like what's the guy Adnan? It's like Adnan.
No, it's not Adnan.
It is.
No, it's not.
Something like that.
Adnan's still in jail. Serial
Hassan?
season 1.
Is he
I
really?
think it's Hassan.
Yeah.
Hassan. Maybe that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Hassan.
Okay.
But Adnan Syed from Serial Season
Yeah,
1?
Serial
I
Season
thought he
1.
got let out.
I don't think so.
And then they took him back
I thought
in.
he got.
Oh, maybe
let out
they
too.
did
Oh, did
that.
they take him back in?
Maybe they took him back.
I thought he got.
We found
let
out.
out
Oh, it turns
as
out you did
well.
kill her.
I was like, oh yeah, we.
You didn't kill her after 20
We
years.
looked
Oh, it
into
turns
it
out you
really
did.
well. We took it out, but then we found it. You did it.
We knew it.
Yeah, you
We
did
knew
it.
you fucking
Yeah,
did it. You
messed
did
up.
it.
Yeah, we were right the first time.
So, Jeff, let me ask you this.
Yeah, okay.
We know that you may or may not, but don't have a birthday coming up in the next
Correct.
9 or 10 days.
Correct.
But do you play any board games?
I do play board games. So
Which ones do you play?
many. Now let me tell you about what I played just really quickly.
Okay.
On last Monday, it was Bill's pick. Bill's a wild card sometimes. What he picks. We played Kalis
Wait, explain what that means.
and Through the Desert.
What do you mean by he's a wild card?
Bill is so a lot of times when Joe picks, I have an idea like we're in Jaws of the Lion or we're playing Aeon Zen. I'm like, okay, I got an idea what Joe might pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave wants to play his games he hasn't played yet, so I have an idea of that.
Yeah.
Okay. I have like Cult of the New Game, so I usually pick a new game.
Okay.
And then we go to Bill's, and we could play anything from like sheer panic about fucking shaving sheep, or we could play Kalis.
Or for Kalis, right.
Because he has this method to his craziness of like he
Right,
wants to
playing
play
all games
every
once.
once of it. Yeah. So we play Kalis, which I'll talk a lot more about Kalis on the future episode, which should be pretty soon because Joe and I are recording on Monday.
Oh, of the Mad
the
Chatter.
Of the
Patreon.
Mad
Oh,
Chatter
yes.
Patreon thing. So if you want to give us your money and listen to Joe and I
Oh, I can't wait for that
Talk about
episode.
things.
Oh, sweet.
So we have actually a couple backloaded. So the next chunk that the Patreon backers will get will probably get like 3 episodes.
Look at Jeff actually being the one to carry the Patreon.
Dang, we
got
still
to. I
haven't
know we
done
got to
ours.
get
We've been
involved in
talking
BPG
about it.
It's really Joe's credit to Joe, or we can just call it Joe's fault that you have to listen to Joe and I talk. About it.
He's like, let's do
Joe's
this.
like,
let's do the
let's do
next
it.
one.
Let's do it. I'm like, okay, good.
Thanks, Joe.
But the other day, I set up a game and learned it for Devin and I. Okay, this game is called. Okay, hear me out.
All right, I'm hearing
We're
you.
gonna figure it out.
Yep.
Zhanguo.
Zhanguo. Okay.
Zhanguo.
You see, there's we did our homework here.
We did a homework to try to figure
We
out.
We're
found
still
out
messing it
either
up, I'm sure.
Zhanguo or Zhanguo.
Yeah, Zhanguo or Zhanguo.
Spelled.
So it is spelled Zhanguo. And then there is a colon or a hyphen, whatever, says the First Empire.
Okay.
Because there is a Zhanguo original game from 2014.
Right.
So this is a re-implementation.
Okay.
I have never played the original. I have zero comparison. Find another show if you want a comparison. I am only reviewing Zhanguo, the First Empire from Sorry We Are French Games.
Got it.
Who made Lupin.
Yep.
Nice.
There it is.
tieback.
There's
Callback.
the
That's
James
it.
Gann
The
effect.
James Gann effect
Yep.
came about now.
Shut it down.
Boom.
Yep. Close the computer. Save the battery.
Save the
We're
battery.
done. Okay. The 2 designers are French, and so
Marco and
Canetta-
Stefania.
Yeah, Marco and Stefania. They made
Stefania.
almost like they have like a dozen games in their repertoire. None of them are big, huge name. Railroad Revolution is the only game I've ever heard that they have created,
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see anything that I know either.
other than the original. So they're also on the original Zhanguo as well. So anyway, Sorry We Are French Games. They're under the like Hachette umbrella.
Cool.
Let me tell you about this game. Now, hear me out. I have some things to tell you about the game as I'm explaining it. If you don't understand what I'm telling you about the game, it's okay. Listen it, okay? Because there's some weird mechanisms that happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Zhanguo is a multi-use / hand management / engine building / area majority.
Wow.
Multi-use card.
Multi-use card.
Okay.
And you have to manage those cards in your hand. Okay.
Got it.
Obviously
Yep,
with that.
of course.
Some engine building going on.
Like it.
And then some area majority.
Okay.
No conflict, which is where we've always talked about.
Right. Area control.
It's not really area control. This is way more majority than.
Got it. You just want the most. You don't want to be fighting to gain.
Which is
kick people
also
out.
something I like more than control.
Same.
Yeah.
So you're trying to find your place in the Terracotta Army. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you know that.
I should have done a lot more research on the Terracotta Army, but you're basically doing favors for the Emperor to have your place in the Terracotta Army.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming like fills your place in
Building
history
those statues and stuff.
There is a big main board with a map of China broken into these regions or territories. There's a zone for all these scoring tiles. There's a section of the map on the top, which I think represents the Great Wall as you're building the Great Wall. There is this evaluation majority bonus area thing in the bottom left. And then on the right side, there is a boat path.
Yeah,
There's
some
little
waterways
ships to go on. That I am 84.5% sure was not in the first game.
Oh, okay.
And that is a new piece
The water
to the game,
section?
which I actually really enjoyed.
Cool.
But again, I can't compare it, so suck it.
Fuck you.
Okay, players also have their own individual player board. I don't know if you're checking out that.
I am.
bad
I'm
boy.
just watching this picture as you're explaining.
Yeah, so they have an individual player board. It's not dual layered. It's the fake dual layer on the left where like there's
Yeah,
just
it just-
holes.
the bottom of the
Yeah,
table.
your table is the dual layer.
Yeah.
So the left-sided section holds all of your player stuff. And the right section, which is really important, has these 5 regions or 5 sections that represent the same 5 regions that are on the board.
Yep.
So, for example, if I do something on my player board in the region of like Wei, that represents that something is happening in Wei on the main board.
That is very reminiscent of a game I love called Shogun.
Okay, yeah, I do. I've only played that once with you.
Yeah, but Shogun had a very similar
Okay.
thing.
Do you still have that? Or did you get rid
No,
of
I
it?
got rid of it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
not played it. I know
Exactly.
you loved it.
I
but
loved
just
it.
didn't
Yeah,
get
we
played.
just didn't get to
That
play
had
it.
those cool
Natalie hated it.
like domino-y tiles, right? The big
No, it
chunky
had
ones, or no?
it was the cube tower, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Queen
That was
Cube.
like a
And then
great
it was
game, too.
it was huge. It had the cube tower and then a bunch of cards.
Okay. Well, here's more cards. Each round, players get 6 cards from 3 different decks. So you get 2 from each deck. And on their turn, you basically choose a card from your hand, and you either play it to one of the regions on your player board, so one of those 5 regions, or you use that card to take an action.
Okay.
All right. So playing a card to your player board gets you these like resource tokens. So they're one of 3 colors, and each region can hold 3 cards. They're this like unrest going on. So the certain regions can only hold a certain amount if your unrest is too high. And it gives you resource tokens for all the cards that you have placed there before. So, for example, if I place let's keep going with Wei, the 3rd card in that region in Wei, and it's a white card, I would get 3 white tokens, which is like literacy or reading or something like
Okay.
that. It represents that. Doesn't matter what the cards are below it, but I get to collect those tokens. Those tokens help with bonuses later in the game. And then if you do this for an action, you play your card to this smaller satellite board, and you basically choose the action you want. So nothing on the card necessarily matters at first for the action that you're taking. You put it out there and say, I want to take this action. The actions are adding officials and workers to these regions, okay, on your player board. So on your player board, if you want to add workers and these little tokens that are generals or their other 2 names, architects and something else,
Okay.
you put them directly on your player board. I'll keep going with Wei.
Yep,
So if
Wei.
I want to add a general to my the Wei part of my board, I take the general off and I put it there.
Got it.
In my own place, not on the main board.
Oh,
you can
okay.
also move your ship. You can also then use those different regions to add governors, temples, and walls to the main board. So this is all done by paying and moving around the officials and the workers on your player
On your
board
player board that represent the things of the main
that
board.
then build things out onto the main board. So for example, if I want to build a wall, I need to have workers in 1, 2, or 3 different zones, depending on where I want to place the wall and how much scoring I want, like a multiplier. Or if I want to put a governor out, I need to spend 1 of each type of official in a matching region, and then I add the governor out onto the player board, onto the main board. Is that making any sense?
No.
You see why there's a lot of just like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
So I'm almost taking actions on my player board that represent what's going on in the main board. I want to eventually get shit onto the main board because that's where all the good stuff and the
Yep.
things happen. Now, here's what's crazy. Players then look at the action that they selected and the card played. If the card is higher or lower, depending on what action you take, you get to activate all your cards on your player board with that matching symbol. So the cards that you had previously slid in there before to just get resource tokens now activate based on the number that you have played.
Oh.
So you get like super bonus combo-y chaining kind of actions going on.
The numbers go from 0 to 3. Is that what I'm looking at?
No.
Oh, I see 0, 1, 2, 3.
That is like the unrest, so that would be
Got
like you
it.
couldn't play things there, or kind of affects it. The numbers are on the bottom of the card. So let's say,
Oh, okay.
for example, Ryan on his turn had played a card at the bottom that has a number 63 on it. Okay. So then goes Natalie's turn. Natalie plays a card with a 70, higher, and chooses an action that is one of the higher actions, like adding a general. So she adds a general. Might not be a general, might be moving a ship, whatever. So maybe it's moving a ship. So she adds moving a ship. So she moves her ship, and then because she played a card higher, and that's one of the higher actions, she looks at her player board, activates all the cards with the ship action, because that's the action she took, and it allowed her to multiply or combo her engine.
Sweet.
It's crazy. It's actually taught very, very quickly to Devin as I was teaching. Like, as I'm explaining it here, it's a visual thing. You need to see it and understand it.
Yeah.
So that's where I tried to pare it down, but I want to get the complexity of this game across.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to confuse the shit out of you while you're driving to wherever you're going.
Hopefully you're not crashing.
So
trying to work it out.
Players do this. Basically, you're doing this to try to get majority in these different areas of the board. You want to build walls. You want to move ships to gain endgame scoring points and to put cooler cards out there. At the end of the round, players are earning bonuses for those token collections. And after 5 rounds, it ends. Okay, so 5 rounds, you play 6 cards, you get 30 turns. Some of the cards are in front of you, some of your cards you use for actions. Okay, haven't played the original. I already said that. Not comparing the two. I really enjoyed this game. Okay, this is again Zhanguo. Or Zhang,
or is it Zhanguo?
It is beyond the good, not great category, as we like to always say.
Okay. So
I think it's better than that, for sure.
Better than good, not great.
Everything I was doing in this game, I was like, I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, this fit into my, like, okay, this is engine building. This is, like, comboing actions of, like, okay, if I take this, I can now do these 6 things that are on my cards, and look at all this fun stuff I get to do. Rules are straightforward, and the gameplay is really smooth, but extremely deep and strategic.
Yeah, I'm noticing 4 out of 5 board game
it
geek
is
weight.
a 4.0.
4.00.
And you do not feel that in the rules, which I think is a really important thing. It is not fiddly.
Nice.
I never thought it was very like fiddly. I had to look up some iconography, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of, oh, you have to pay like a half a thing for this and 1 to do that or 2 to, it was like.
So the weight was more in decision making.
In the depth and the decision making of this game, because it's heavy, especially if you want to do really well. Like from a strategic depth and planning perspective, it was heavy, not from like the rules.
Okay.
Right? I don't even think I scratched the surface of this game. And at the beginning of the game, Devin and I were both kind of like seat of our pants, just flying by, doing things. Mm-hmm. And then partway through the game, I was like, oh shit, I should have been thinking about what do I want to do later so I can build that engine on my player board. So when I do that thing later, like my strategy is now to put governors out. I'm just going to put as many governors out as possible. I need to load my player board with governor actions. So when I do the governor action, I get an extra 6 bonus actions. But we're halfway through and we're starting to kind of figure that out. Mm-hmm. But in a really good way. Like what I described to you sound really hectic and over the top. And I, again, at the beginning, didn't fully understand how all the pieces came together, but it really did. And the choices, like I kind of said, were easy in theory of like, play a card there and take an action, or play a card here and take an action.
Yeah.
And take tokens. But like challenging in a way that was good. It was a good mix of like, here's my strategy. I need to get my walls out to multiply scores. I need to get my generals out to get majority. But I wanted to activate a lower card, and Ryan just played 130. I don't have any cards high or higher,
that.
whatever. To go the other way. And it was just like, you have to be tactical in the same respect.
Right.
Again, in a good way.
Yeah.
I love the scoring possibilities on the board. It was also like, so we talked about Barcelona a couple episodes ago, where Barcelona, you just got points everywhere. You get things and you got
literally
points.
everything gives you
There are points throughout this game, but you have to essentially like unlock them or like do something in order to get those scoring tiles and those scoring points. The Great Wall has 5 or 6 different areas where if you build a wall there, you open up that scoring for you. And depending on where you put it in that section, it could be a 1, 2, or 3 times multiplier.
Oh, cool.
And that, I think, drives different strategies, changes variability a ton. The majority at the end of the game is really, really simple. It's just like, who has the most, that's the points you get. There is no like extra steps or, you divide by 2. You add up the number of this and divide by 2. It's just like, you have majority, you get 10 points.
Yeah.
And move on. But it's also
that.
not the entire, like, you can lose scoring. You probably can't lose every region because it's a game about it's area majority. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to just focus on area majority.
Okay.
You can score in lots of other ways.
That's actually really cool.
So I'm talking like I really like this game, and I did. Devin did not.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, it's a 4.0 out of 5.
Yeah, that's
what
probably,
did your wife think about that?
And Devin, did she win? She might have won.
Real quick, too, you mentioned that the river thing is new to Zhanguo
Maybe
First
it was
Empire.
80-something%.
I wonder if that's the increase, because I looked at Zhanguo, the original.
Yeah.
And it's
not
only like
as
a
heavy.
3.83.
Okay, yeah, could
And
be.
this is
high,
up to,
though.
it
Could be
is,
the
but
next
like, I wonder
thing.
what the additional, because it's just a reimplementation.
Yeah, I
So
should
I
have
wonder
done
if they
some-
added that, and that's
Yeah,
what causes
maybe the numbers on the
spike in-
cards. I don't know the action selection in that one.
Yeah. It's beautiful looking. It looks.
Oh
really
yeah, the
sweet.
new edition looks great, especially in comparison. The other edition,
Yeah,
I don't
the other
think was
edition,
really
right? I've
this is
definitely
great.
seen Zhanguo before.
Yeah.
the older one. I just never played it.
So I think some things that just didn't like. It was tough at the beginning for her to wrap her head around. Where at the beginning she was just again taking actions, and that maybe started out on the wrong foot for her. Than saying like, let me just see how the game goes.
Yeah,
She wasn't wrapping her head really around the numbers. Like, all right, I want to take this action, but you want to play a lower card so you can activate all the ones. Or you want to play a higher card on this side. That was maybe the most fiddly part. Theme, I think, fell really flat for her.
Yeah.
She's not like an empire-y.
Yeah.
Like even
I don't blame her.
Yeah,
That doesn't really interest me.
the
either.
whatever year this
Yeah.
was, like this is not her
1600s.
theme.
I actually really do like the theme of this.
I liked it too.
I
and
love that kind of
yeah.
that kind of theme.
Like I
It's
want to be
great.
really,
Chinese,
really
Japanese, all that
excited.
stuff is cool.
I want to be really, really excited about the game, but when I was playing it, I like loved playing this. I was like, this is
Really?
this is really fucking good. Will it be a game that we play all the time? No, because Devin doesn't like it. So I'm hoping that I can find people to play it with.
Yeah,
Can you not
like-
play it with your game group?
No, I will. I'll play it with
Oh.
them and see if they. I hope it.
you don't think
hits
it'll be
with
too
them.
long?
Again, maybe. Devin and I played in 2 hours, but we play everything in 2
Yeah.
hours or
Yeah,
under.
but
Right.
then add 2 more people and
Yeah, add 2 more people. It will go longer because you're still playing cards. You're still
because
playing.
it's heavy. There's gonna be a lot of AP.
The
probably.
AP can hit, but it still worked well at 2. Like it wasn't bad. You still have to just the majority is easier, right?
Yeah.
An area majority games at 2 is just
Honestly,
easier.
that makes it more appealing for me to play it
And
with two.
I
Yeah,
really
same.
liked it. And I'm looking at Board Game Geek. I'm not the only one. It's like over an 8. It's still probably
8.2?
in its
Yeah, it's early.
infancy
It's
in terms
early.
Oh,
of,
okay.
There's
of
only
the
like
game.
55
it like
comments.
just
but
came out.
Yeah, it's a this year
Yeah.
release, and I don't know how.
There's only 141.
Well, I don't know
ratings.
again how worldwide it is. I know Jim Gamer played it recently, and we've been talking back and forth a little bit about when I played it and posted about it, and he
liked it a lot?
loved it too. And I was like, I need to see this game needs to be in more places because it checks a lot of boxes for me. And my only unchecked box is that Devin didn't like it and probably
Yeah.
wouldn't sit
Yeah,
down
that's
and
a
play it
bummer.
with me again.
That is bummer.
But man, it looks
cool.
It exceeded my expectations. I went in neutral, read the directions with the rule book has some room for growth. Thankfully, there's a good video by what's his name, Paul Grogan.
Yeah,
Where he
gaming rules.
teaches and plays it, so you could always go on that. But the when I read the rules, I'm like, God, what's going on? And then when it started, I was like, fuck, this is good.
That's awesome.
I really liked the stuff that I was doing. So that was Zhanguo
Zhanguo or Zhanguo, one of the two. Who knows?
from Sorry We Are French.
Sorry, We Are
Bonjour tout le
French.
monde.
So Jeff has a saying. Okay, his saying. Well, he used to have a saying.
Yeah.
I'll buy anything for $10.
Yeah, anything.
Remember that, Jeff?
Yep.
I've adopted that philosophy myself and expanded it and added a 0.
Okay.
And so when I saw Draft and Write Records
$100?
on Kickstarter,
That
and
would
it
be
was
it.
inside of that $100 mark.
$100.
Inside the $100.
Inside the $100 mark, I was
Under.
like, well, I'll buy anything for $100. And so backed it, went into the catalog of forgotten games, hibernating like the action Jeff only took once in Revive, until such time that it would show up on my doorstep, surprising me and briefly making me second guess that I actually backed it. Well, I went online and checked my Kickstarter profile, and sure enough, I carelessly and irresponsibly did back this one with no regard to our financial situation, and so I tore into it like Natalie with a bag of combos, and here's how it plays.
You mean not even open it at all? Because you don't even like
I don't
that snack?
understand
Your
why you
favorite
don't like.
snack.
I don't understand why you don't like combos because they're really good.
It
not
is
that I
your
don't like them.
fate. She
I
hates
like-
them so much.
I
you
had
hate
never
them.
even had them before that day at Gen Con.
But
They're your favorite.
But how would they be?
I
your
don't know
favorite
why
then,
she
Allie? I
says
don't
that. They're her. Yeah,
understand.
how can you have your?
I
How is it
don't
your favorite
say
snack?
that.
You never ate
Favorite.
it before.
Yeah.
Draft and Write Records is a blank and write game where the blank is card drafting. I mean, it's right in the fucking name. Draft and write.
I get it.
Right? Players begin with a hand of cards that all correlate to some action on their paper sheet. They draft one, take its action, and then pass cards and take another and do it again until they're all gone. The actions are to actually form your band, take it on tour, plan your schedule, prioritize your assets. That's all fluff, though, of course, because really you're just taking cards and crossing off stuff to give you more stuff that lets you cross off more stuff in a certain way. The theme is really just pasted on here, but it's actually really cool. One of the main things you're doing in the game is drafting cards as personnel in your band. You need a lead singer, musicians, crewmates, marketing people, stuff like that. And these are displayed in a tree of sorts, with the lead singer being up top, and connected to them are the 4 musicians, connected below them are the 3 marketing people, and below them are the 4 crew members. They're all connected by these lines and dots. And that's interesting because once you draft one of these cards, it's going to have 4 colors on its top, left, right, and bottom. And if you happen to match a card of the same color when drafting in the future, you get a little bonus called a harmony bonus. And you guessed it, it gives you more stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool. At the end of the round, once all the cards have been drafted, you're going to go through and see if anyone scored any of the face-up scoring cards or if you've completed any of your personal hidden scoring card. The game ends once one person has scored 6 times, or when one person has marked their fail space 5 times, or when one person has completely filled up their band personnel with cards. After that's over, you total up points, and whoever's got the most wins. So things I liked about draft and write.
Write and draft.
Records. What's it called? Draft and write records. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Blank and writes always typically start in the positive for me. This one takes it and adds card drafting as the blank, and I actually did really enjoy that aspect of it. The game is really beautiful to look at. My copy came with these really nice player mats that you put your drafted band personnel cards on, and it's definitely a more lush-looking blank and write game than the typical fare. It uses colored pencils, which is always a lot of fun, and just has a really nice production. As for the gameplay, at first, the first few turns of this, Natalie and I were very much in the meh category of Good Night Great. Nothing seemed fun. It just seemed disconnected, slightly boring, and a bit of a letdown. But then something changed. About 3/4 of the way through, the game started to kind of open up and come alive as every decision felt more difficult. The combos were firing and shit was getting done, and I was having a blast. And it was so much fun to be like, well, I need another musician in my row, but none of the colors match of that card that I have. So that's kind of a waste if I take it, but damn, it's another spot to fill, and it's 5 points that I could use my multiplier on. Should I wait for the perfect card? Yes, I should. Okay, I'll take something different. And then those decisions were decisions I really enjoyed. It was a bit unfortunate that they didn't happen until the latter half of the game, but it's better to finish strong in the end. It always leaves you with a pleasant taste in your mouth. So things I didn't like. Really, the only thing I didn't like about this one was it didn't really do a lot to stand out. The theme is really cool and unique, but the mechanisms are the same as everything you've played before. There's nothing new except maybe that harmony mechanism, but even that didn't feel like I'd never done it before. You play cards with like colors next to each other to get bonuses. It's cool, but not super unique. Another thing is I believe it may suffer from that you can do everything you want ailment that plagued games for me like the Manhattan Project, Energy Empire, where at the end of the play, I'd almost completed every single thing possible on the sheet. And that was only my first play. It was really fun doing all that, but I can see if that happens over and over, it's going to get samey very quickly. You don't want to play a game that just lets you do everything. You want a game where your decisions lead you down a path that you hope will work out. And if it doesn't, you try something different the next time. But if you're just able to do every single thing you want, every single play, there's nowhere to grow. There's nothing to do. You can't go up. There's nowhere to learn. Nothing to learn. Nothing to try, which only equals boredom to me. That's yet to be seen in this game, but it's a concern I have after my first play. Overall, time will tell, as I did really like it, actually. Enough that I want to keep it for now to play it again and see if it doesn't let me just do almost everything I want on the next play or two. Maybe with more than 2 players, that isn't as apparent. I don't know. Who knows? For now, it's a keeper. What did you think, Natalie?
Sorry. I didn't expect you to go after me. I took a drink.
Her mouth hole was open.
Yeah, draft and write records. I don't like the name. I think it's kind of a silly name.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like the name, but I do really like the theme also.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. You're like,
Would you write something called Roll and Write Records? Would you like that?
No.
Okay.
I just don't like
You don't
that.
like the records part.
I like the records part. I don't like that the main part of the name is just like, it's almost like strategy game, empire.
Yeah.
Worker placement, empire.
You know, that's I don't know. It's like be more clever.
I agree with you there.
But I do really like the theme too. I like how it looked. I kind of felt like the player mats, they were really nice, but I don't really. They kind of seemed over the top.
They
for,
did
for this game.
Yeah,
Like almost like it made it more expensive, but it
Didn't really
be
add
really
much, you
an
mean?
expensive game. So like I don't know. Yeah, it didn't really add anything.
you don't get that
mean,
was a
it is
Kickstarter
nice.
thing. I think.
Oh, okay,
I'm pretty
okay.
sure it's only like $30.
Is it normally just like a board?
Normally, you just put the cards next to your player sheet.
Okay, that makes sense.
You don't
That
need
makes sense.
you don't actually need a board.
The only like nice thing I guess about the player mat, if you didn't have a board, was that it kind of like, not that it wouldn't be easy to know
What
how
you
to
have
place
remaining.
the cards, but like you see the spots and like exactly because you have to place it in like a certain way,
like a tree.
yeah, almost like a tree. Like the main singers like at the top, and then underneath them is like 3 cards,
4 cards. It's like
yeah.
1, 4, 3, 4.
right? Yeah, whatever. Anyways,
Whatever, I don't care.
Whatever. Who fucking cares?
But yeah, I agree. At first, I also thought it felt very dull. We were just kind of like, okay, we'll do this, let's do this kind of thing. But and then towards the end of the game, it got a lot more fun. Their combos were like crazy
Favorite
at the
snack?
end. What?
I said your favorite snack.
And then
Pizza combos, nacho
and
cheese
things
combos.
got like tighter at the end. So between like the tons of
boy.
combos and the tightness, it got like a lot more fun because we were both
That
kind
sounds
of
like
were
a
like.
wonderful like Saturday night. Tons of combos
and tightness?
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
my God.
Hello.
Let's loosen that up.
Because we both had the same feeling where we're kind of just like, what do you think? I don't know. But then at the end, we're like, okay, that ended up kind of being fun.
We almost put it away.
Ooh.
I think we were at the point we were like,
this
why
is
are we doing this?
Dangerous.
This
I have a
sucks.
question when you're done
Yeah.
about the fun.
Yeah, but for me, I thought it was overall good, not great. Like I liked it. I would play it again, but I wouldn't, fall in love with it or anything. And it was, this is true with any game like this with the randomness, but there's a little thing that's kind of annoying and frustrating when you like get to the end and like you only have certain like a couple spaces left that you need to fill, and then there's just no cards of that kind that show up in the round, and it's like, well, the other person gets it and ends the game and you don't even have a chance kind of thing. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Question.
Okay.
Was the fun because you were checking off a bunch of boxes? Like the combos were fun?
Yes.
Does that then go to Ryan's point of it was too easy and you could do whatever you wanted? At what point does the fun... I don't know. Is there a way to find a balance of this is fun, but also challenging and toit?
I didn't really
know what
have
I'm
that
saying? You know
feeling
what I
where
mean?
it was too easy. I could do whatever I wanted. I guess it kind of ended up that way, but
That's what I mean. You did everything.
Yeah, but I wasn't like playing the game and like I can just do whatever I want. Like at the end, if I looked back, I was like, oh, okay, I ended up doing this, but I didn't feel like I was going to be doing
I
that.
actually agree with you.
Okay,
I
so in
didn't
the
feel
beginning
that
you thought
way.
you might. But now you know that.
Right.
Yeah,
So now
Is the
afterward,
game ruined?
no, I don't.
Ruin's
well,
not the right word,
I
but- I don't
think so.
I think it could be.
The progression might like that.
I think it
surprise.
could be. Now, the huge grain of salt here with this game, we only played this once.
Right.
That's a huge grain of
This
salt
is
to
our
take with
first
this.
impression
That first
review.
play, that happened, and I looked at my sheet after it was over, and I was like, that was fun. And I was like, I think I filled up every single box that I could have. The only thing I didn't do,
you?
well, yeah, I didn't, you ended it before
Yeah.
I could finish my band.
Oh,
So I had like one card I could
because I
have
finished
played.
my band,
And then
but
it
I
ended.
didn't fill up everything else.
But most of them, I would think.
But in the moment, because you
A lot
didn't
of
think
them.
you were going
Most
to
of
do
them,
that,
Yeah.
it was fun because
it
you were
didn't
making
feel
all this
right,
progress.
Exactly.
You're like,
it
oh,
was
yes, it's
fun.
happening.
But so
Yeah.
my point was after I looked at my sheet after it was over and I was like, oh, I did every fucking thing I could have. And I didn't feel like I scaled this insurmountable, hill
Yeah.
that allowed me
Right,
to.
like it
I felt
wasn't
like
like
it
you
just that just
accomplished-
happened.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of like, I think that might happen every play. And I actually went on Board Game Geek and looked at some comments, and there was a couple comments that echoed similar things where somebody was like,
Yeah.
it was good, but I
thrill
never
is-
felt like I wasn't going to get something accomplished.
There's not much
Yeah.
more to like explore in the game.
I
Yeah.
see that. I didn't think that until you said it, but I see what you're saying.
Well, but
Damn.
here's how I think it could reverse or a little bit. And this is the reason I think I want to keep it for a while. Because the game is not just 10 rounds and it's over. The game is the game ending is predicated by the players. So you end the game by either one person scoring 6 times, because you don't have to score. Once the round ends, you go and you look at all these cards, and you're like, okay, I can score this one, I can't score that one, I could score this one, I could score this one.
Yeah.
You're allowed to score them if you can, but you don't have to.
I feel like we only scored like 3 or 4 times.
No, we scored 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't even get close to ending it that way.
Yeah, I had 5, I think.
Oh,
I had 5
It
of
could
the 6,
rush.
I
It
think.
could only be
Yeah, you
6
could just
or
like boom, boom,
something.
boom, boom, end the game, and then in that way, if you see somebody ending like that's gonna get close to ending the game, I think that could create the tension that I'm looking for here. In a 2-player game with Natalie and I, our first time, we didn't really do that. We were just kind of like being measured about it. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, I feel like if you were playing with us, Jeff, you might have added that little element of like, well, Natalie's doing all that, I'm gonna just fucking try to get these things going, so
Or
she
you were
doesn't keep
both-
doing that.
Maybe you were both trying to like play for a lot of points versus like I'm gonna play again. Like if it was 3 of us,
I think
it'd be
we
like,
were
I need
trying to get our
like the
harmonies
only way that I'm
and then
gonna
our
win
like
or
end game
play
cards.
is to
We were
You're
just
totally
trying
right,
to like
Jeff, yeah.
maximize this.
Yeah, we were like, let's
stuff.
get as many points as we can.
So we
and,
were in a
I need to.
rush,
I'm
but
not going to
we're-
score this card because that's only 5 points, where this other card is 18. You know, but it's like maybe if I score that 5-point card.
I would definitely play it because
You know.
Or
I
we were
kinda like
going
the
for those
theme.
middle
Oh,
scoring
the theme is
things.
great.
Oh, yeah.
The theme is the
It's
best
actually
part
really
about
cool.
it. The theme is the best part about it, I thought, and it's beautiful looking.
How long did it take?
Oh, not long. 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'd
that's
say
nice.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
nice.
So that's draft and write records. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about it, Natalie?
Nope.
I thought it was good. I thought it was better than Good Night Great. I'm slightly concerned about that too easy thing, but I do think I'm maybe talking myself into that it might not happen every
Yeah,
play.
and if you can get
because of that,
again with our gameplay, if you can get 5 plays out of it,
right, it's worth it.
and you spent like $200-300 on it,
Only
so
like
it's not bad.
$500.
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
bad.
it was like $1,000.
Oh my God.
He said 500. He said 100 per play. So
Per
you gotta
play.
get it 5.
Yeah, it was a little just south of 100 per play.
Yeah.
What else are you playing, Jeff?
Okay, I am playing a lot of Brotherwise games. You ready?
I like Brotherwise.
So, the Brothers Wise. Natalie, what game? Do you know any games about
She has no
Brotherwise?
fucking clue. I'll guarantee it.
You do. You actually really like the prequel to this one I'm about to talk about.
What's the name of the one you're about to talk about?
Don't give it away.
Let me tell you. This one is called Overboss Duel.
Oh, I
Remember
love
Overboss?
Overboss.
Yeah. So
Overboss was good.
Overboss, we all love. We like raved about
Great
Overboss
game.
when we played
Great
it. I
game.
remember. I think I brought it over. When
We played
were
it before
sitting
the
in
show.
other bar. We played it before the show.
Yeah.
And we were like, this was really fun.
Yeah, I've played it again at least 1 or 2 other times.
Yeah.
Maybe at your mini nerd fest.
Yeah.
or
Did you guys
something.
buy it? Did you buy it?
No, we didn't.
We don't own
Okay.
it.
Why didn't we? I'm surprised we didn't. We both really enjoyed it. I'm actually surprised we didn't buy it.
So I have a copy, and Bill in our game group has a copy. He
Right.
kickstarted it. He has more tiles than I do, because you can mix up. You only pick
Oh, is
6
it
or
because
something.
it's not good at 2?
Oh,
Duel.
that's probably
The
why.
Duel.
Segue. Dun, dun, dun.
Now the sequel to Overboss Duel, where you're dueling. Okay, it's a 2-player game, so it's called Duel.
Ooh, this
love
could be
The
duels.
originality in the naming of these 2-player games.
You're
is
right.
just-
Yeah.
Draft and write duel.
Yeah, Duel. So now this, instead of having, so if you've played Overboss, this is going to sound really, really familiar. I'm not going to go into a huge amount of like rules like I did Zhanguo, but
Order Overboss Cafe.
yeah, Duel. Over Order Boss Cafe Duel. Yeah. There is one board in this. So the best way to play this is put the board in between the dueling players.
Oh, this is already solid.
That's
So there's
really
one
neat.
board.
We're in the
It
positive.
is a 4x8 or 4x10, depending on the side. You can do like yours is either a 4x5 or a 4x4.
Okay,
Something like that. I don't know. Look at it.
I'm going to.
Okay.
I that's close. So it's either 4 wide and 10. So you have one
Something like
board
that.
between the two of you. Just like in Overboss, players are taking tiles from the market. Okay. Are you looking it up?
I'm going to, yeah.
They're taking tiles from the market, and the tile is also tied to that little tiny tile. Do you remember that? They're like the little
Yeah,
monsters
yeah,
that go
yeah.
along with the,
That you put on top of the tile.
yeah, you put them in the bag, right, and you mix them up. So the matching, you might not get the same tile as you do the little tiny
Yeah.
like boss or bad guy that you're adding to your board. And the theme is always cool. If you remember the theme is like you're kind of creating an old video game level, I kind
Right.
of think, where like these
Yeah.
the heroes are sort of
Right,
going
like
through.
the 8-bit
3
or
pictures.
16-bit.
Maybe I should need to take really good pictures and add some. Get
Yeah,
a couple
you're-
geek gold for it.
You're right. There's not many pictures, is there?
Yeah.
But this one looks like it's
Okay,
good.
so what's that one?
Yeah, this is the one with the 4x8 board.
Okay, so
And
it's either
there's-
4x8 or 4x6.
Okay.
Okay. So it shrinks then. It's 4x6 because the other side
Okay.
is smaller. So it's 4x8 or 4x6 to go back and correct myself there.
Okay.
Again, just one big board though. So you draft tiles, and just like an Overboss, you're placing the tiles on the board along with the little monster tile. You can put them anywhere on the board, anywhere on the 4x8 or 4x6 board, anywhere you want.
Okay.
Okay. These tiles, just like Overboss, just like Between Two Hoo-Has, they all score
I would
differently.
love to be between two hoo-has.
They all score differently, right? Be adjacent to this, not be adjacent to that, be in a row, be in a thing, right? You've played tile scoring games before. This is like that. There are different abilities. The abilities on the Overboss Duel tiles and those little in the location tiles, a handful of them, not a handful of them, 3, let you move tiles around the board. So that is unlike Overboss, where once you place a tile, it's stuck there.
Right.
Okay.
So I could place one of these tiles and then take one from on the other side of the board and slide it to my side of the board.
Ooh.
Or slide it away, kind of thing.
Okay.
So it is competitive.
It is competitive, and it is a,
Well, it's the duel.
take that dueling game, which might steer you in a wrong direction.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Okay, it does.
there are this other new thing that it adds, other than the ability to move tiles, is there are heroes that get added. You put a town tile out, and you add a hero to the board.
Okay.
It actually adds a hero to all hero tiles anywhere on the board.
Oh.
And the heroes are not good because you're the bad guy.
Oh, right.
And the
So
heroes,
they're,
Right.
the heroes
against
are
you.
killing your monsters, and you don't want that to do
no.
that. But you want the heroes to kill the dueling
Of
bad
course.
guys, right?
Yep.
If Natalie and I are playing, I want to send heroes to her side of the board
Right.
to kill her monsters
Right.
because she gets less
Fuck
points,
you.
right?
Yeah.
When the board gets full, just like in Overboss, you
sorry.
stop and you score. Okay? But what you do is you now score your half of that board. So you either score your 4x4 or your 4x3 half, just drawing an imaginary line in the middle.
Yeah.
So you can place anywhere, you can move tiles anywhere, but when the game ends, you score your half.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. The game is good.
Yeah.
It feels like Overboss. Okay. It is quick. It's quicker than Overboss.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's quicker than Overboss because there's just less people picking tiles as you go
Yeah.
around.
Okay.
What I love about this game is you can mix in all the tiles from all the game, from Overboss and from Overboss Duel, and play with whatever tiles you want.
Oh.
So you could take regular Overboss and play with 5 locations from that and put it in Overboss Duel, or you can take some of the Overboss Duel stuff and just put it in the regular Overboss game,
Oh.
which is the reason why I'm
Oh.
keing this game.
Okay.
Because now I have
'cause now you have the
more
stuff. You have
location
more
tiles,
stuff
which is
for.
cool.
That's cool.
And the directions do say, like,
Darn, it's kind of a bummer though.
you can, there's some things that don't happen in regular Overboss that would happen in Overboss Duel, and it just says, if you're playing with this tile in the regular Overboss, here's what you do.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I'm saying Overboss a lot. But this game is a take that game. So here's how I'm thinking of it. If I'm going to pick one of these games, I'm going to pick Overboss Duel, or I'm going to pick regular Overboss at any player count. At 2, I'm going to pick regular Overboss
Really?
because
It's still good at 2?
the way that I play, yeah, I think it's fine at 2.
Oh, okay.
The way that I played this game, and probably will play this game, is I would play it where I'm playing tiles on my side of the board and it's kind of friendly. And that is not the game. The game is intended for you to play
Right.
take that,
So you might as well just play the
slide
other one.
tiles to Natalie's side of the board. You're going to slide them back. I'm going to
Yeah.
make heroes go on your side of the board to fight your monsters. I'm going to slide this tile over here that blocks the water so you can't put the iceberg on that side so it doesn't score. You're
Yeah.
supposed to play this game like that, and I don't think I would.
Yep.
And I don't think the two of you would either.
No.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
And I don't think there's that much more to just say, well, let's just play on our side of the board.
Yeah.
Then just get regular Overboss and play on your side of the
Okay.
board. Take those tiles and just play on your board. So you're in control of yourself.
Damn, I was a little excited.
I know.
I mean, like,
I mean, we can still get regular Overboss.
I know.
play it. It would take the two of you, you know how to play the game. It would take
Yeah.
you 20 minutes to play this game.
Yeah.
And in 10, you would be like, I don't know if I want to do this, or, okay, this is kind of cool. It doesn't feel that bad. I don't know how your feelings would get with this game.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways to mitigate and move the tiles around in ways where you might not feel completely screwed.
Yeah.
You have the Overboss like monsters that are your private scoring objective and like a cool power that you can flip over and use, just like in regular Overboss. But with me playing this game and who I would play it with, right? If I'm playing with the two of you in a 2-player game or Devin in a 2-player game, we're not going to play the game mean, so I'm just going to pick Overboss.
Yes. Understood.
Let's say if I was married to Bill,
You would only play this
and
one.
I would only
Right.
play Duel with Bill because that's the back and forth that this game is supposed to have.
Yeah.
If you like dueling
And a lot of people like that.
A lot of people do. If you like dueling, take that type of games, this is cool.
Yeah.
And if you have Overboss to add in the other tiles, then awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm saying that I'm keeping this game because I want the tiles from Overboss.
Yeah.
Of course.
But you
Because they're
probably
cool.
won't play the duel version.
I probably won't do the duel a lot. I would play it with the two of you guys just to see if you like it. I will bring it to things because it's a
Did you play
quick,
it
easy
with
two-player.
Devin?
I actually played it with Dave McCown.
Oh, okay, cool.
okay.
As he was bouncing back and forth between a couple games. And we both kind of, I think I only put one tile on his side of the board because he put one on mine first, so he started it.
Does he take that?
Probably.
I don't know. He would
Yeah,
always
I'm sure
say
he
Patty
does.
would probably kick the shit out of him.
Yeah, right. I'm sure he does.
But yeah, I'd be interested to know if he played with Patty, how he would feel. So I recognize that the game is like well done and the tiles are cool and the abilities that the tile did fits in that duel. But I don't duel. I don't do a lot of
I'm not a
dueling.
dueler.
Yep, same.
And-
I'm not a dueler.
So if you like the duel, check out Overboss
Dueler?
Duel. If you don't,
Dueler.
check out the tiles to see if this is a game you'd want to add to your regular
Overboss.
Because Overboss is never leaving my collection. I love Overboss.
That's a great game.
Yeah, it is
Overboss
fun.
is super cool. So that is Overboss Duel. It's kind of with Overboss as well. From Brother Wise.
Brother Wise. Cool. So I've played lots of games from All Play at this point, board game tables.
Yeah.
And none of them have really done anything for me. Good, not great all around, I'd say. Then there was a Kickstarter to get in on some smaller box games that all looked pretty interesting. One called Chomp, Sail, Couture, and Mindspace.
Sale has been on my...
Yeah,
We got rid of
we got
Sail and
well.
Couture.
So Cameron and I played Chomp at Grand Con
We didn't play
and
'em.
found it. Then the Mighty Basement Flood happened, and out it went along with Sail and Couture as we just needed the money. The one that stuck around, though, was the polyomino roll and write called Mindspace. Yet another blank and write, this time with polyomino tiles. Could this be the game to put All Play on the map for me? No, it wasn't. In this game that my feelings have now been spoiled on, players are rolling colored dice to place in front of different polyomino cards and then choosing which of those shapes to draw based on the color of the dice. Each color you draw has some sort of gimmick to it to score points with, and the board itself is like a segmented little brain that you're drawing these shapes on. You can't place a shape directly adjacent to another shape of the same color, and you're just trying to satisfy all the little ways to score points. Things I liked. It was good. Things I didn't like. It wasn't great. Overall, seriously, there's nothing wrong with this game. There was nothing wrong with Chomp. There was nothing wrong with Bites. There was nothing wrong with Kabuto Sumo or Habitats or On Tour or QE or Psychic Pizza Deliverers Go to the Ghost Town. But there's also nothing great
them?
about them. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're all
I like them.
okay. Mid, to use the parlance of our times. The company's game collection gets a solid 7 out of 10 from me, which is good, but not great. I think I will be reluctant to purchase anything else from All Play in the future, as not one that I've bought and played has stayed in my collection. I never fear as though I'm missing out from them, and while I do think their games are good, they're not great. Natalie, what did you think about
Very similar. When
Mindspace?
you were like, what I liked is good, what I didn't like is not great. I
Game
was kind of
Messenger.
like, I don't even know what to say about this. It's it did not stand out. You know, it's like a game I've played before almost. I mean, it's always fun having different color dry erase markers and drawing
Yeah.
polyomino shapes,
Yeah.
but like I could do that with 15 other
Done that.
games. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't stand out. So like that was enjoyable, but do I need to play it in this one? Not really. I like the little square boxes.
They do have a square box.
They got a whole line of those games, tons of them.
But I mean, yeah, it was all right.
People are like all about them, but I honestly wonder if anybody actually really likes a game.
Yeah, it's one of those
Of
games where
an
like
all-play
if
game.
we're at like a game weekend and someone pulls it out, I'd be like, yeah, I'll play this.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we
Same.
would play it on our own ever.
I don't think they're bad at all. I don't think
Yeah.
any of those ones I mentioned, I kind of liked all of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I've ever had like a, whoa, man, this game from All Play,
Right.
this is one of the
So
best
good, not
games in
great's
my
a good-
collection. They're just, the
way to
company in
describe
general
it.
to me, that their games are good, not great. The company in general is probably great. They're awesome. They're great. The
bags
company's
are
great.
cool.
Well, their bags are cool.
The
and
bags are cool. The
fact
tables
they have like
probably
hot and ready tables is amazing.
Yeah, right. They
Like-
got hot and ready tables. The company, I'm not trying to disparage the company, but the games they make, to be honest, for me,
They're not like
I don't think
hot games.
and I don't think I'm really being that
They're just, like,
controversial
middle
saying
of the
that.
road
I
games.
think they're extremely mid kind of games. So that's Mindspace. Like I said, we got rid of Chomp, Couture,
Yeah.
and Sail. I
looking at
kind
what
of
are
wanted to
the-
play Sail.
I'm looking at what are the top ranked all play games. So for some reason, and I don't know why, maybe they're in charge of the Kickstarter. Through the Desert is
coming to all play. I wouldn't count that though.
Is that no? I definitely wouldn't either. Are they running the Kickstarter for that?
Maybe.
That came out?
Maybe they are. Same with Habitats. I don't even know if I'd count Habitat because that's not their game.
I
It's like
kind of
they-
liked Habitat.
They bought
Habitats
the
was-
distribution or something.
Yeah,
for it.
they like
Bites,
re-put. They like put it.
Bites is on
yeah,
there.
Bites.
Sale has a 7.6. So if Sale gets out there, it'll be probably their highest.
That's
ranked.
the one that a lot of people and we had it. We got rid of it because we needed the money. That's one. It's like a trick taker,
right? Two player
player
right.
trick taker.
That's
and
one
so
I
was kind of interested
like
in that.
to try, and that's about it. Mindspace is then next after that. I've played.
You
the
can take
shit-
Mindspace if you want. If you want to try
Try
it,
it
you can
out,
just take it home.
I don't want to. I
Exactly.
played the shit out of
On tour.
on tour, but on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a great app. Toilet sitting,
Yeah,
doing nothing
just fuck
game
around.
because you're just like the dice rolls and you just tap where you want the number to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
easy
there's
peasy.
nothing
have to
to
do
it.
it in
But again,
person.
I wouldn't be like I love on tour,
Right.
but I love
It's
playing
just
it on my
like,
phone. I like playing it on my phone.
But I feel like you wouldn't be like, man,
It's like
on
a fun
tour is in my top.
activity,
In my
but
top
it's not
10.
like a game.
Yeah. Like what game from all play is going to make your top 50?
Nothing yet.
You know, yeah, they got
say
they got to
yet,
wow,
hopefully.
they got to wow us. They haven't wowed us at this point. Jeff, what about you? What next?
Let's talk about more Brotherwise games. Natalie, do you know any Brotherwise games?
Overboss.
And
Overboss Duel.
boom, crushed it. We actually demoed a game. Just you and I demoed a game at Gen Con a couple of years ago after we met the brothers.
We met the brothers.
Oh boy. Do you remember? Do you remember, Ryan?
No,
It was one of those crap. Now I gotta look it up.
not the Call to Adventure.
Yeah, but it was a call to adventure. It was one of the
Was
call
that
to
Brotherwise?
adventure. Like, yeah,
I
it
remember
was-
that happening.
That's their that's like their big money maker. Is those
Call to Adventure.
those call to adventure games?
Yeah, they're Brandon Sanderson.
What? Really?
No,
Brandon Sanderson
That's
is
the
like
Reckoners.
the Stormlight archives, isn't
no.
it?
The
Well,
call
he
to
does write
adventure.
that, but-
That's where you're like. I'll show you the cover.
Isn't
You'll
that
know, like,
Brandon
Call to
Sanderson?
Adventure. So call to adventure has that like you end up being.
I know.
the-
Yeah, I know
I
what it
never
looks
played
like.
that.
Is it? Isn't
What did
that-
we demo?
I think it is. I think
We
Call to
demoed
Adventure.
a call to adventure something game.
Yeah, Call
Like,
to
it was, like,
Adventure.
the next game.
There's a Call to Adventure. The Stormlight Archives board game.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Which
We
is
might have done
Brandon
like
Sanderson.
Epic Origins or something. I don't know what we ended up doing.
I do not recall.
They also have like did they just have a Kickstarter about like that's basically Mario Kart?
I don't know.
Oh.
I think they might have.
Really?
I'm just talking on my ass.
That sounds cool.
Mario
I think they did. But anyway, but it's like an Overboss theme of Overboss Mario Kart looking
really?
thing. Are you looking it up? Overboss
I was looking
Mario
up
Kart.
Dodos riding dinos and wondering if that was Brotherwise because that's
Okay.
like a Mario Kart.
They also did like Unearth.
Yep, Unearth. I
Their
remember
boss
that.
monster was like their original,
Right.
I think,
That's
big
like their
hit.
big one.
And then we also love Night of the Ninja from them. But I think Call to Adventure is sort of their bigger game. But anyway, they somehow found a way to pull John D. Clare away from.
John D.
John D. Clare. They somehow pulled him away from AEG. I don't know. I feel like every John D. Clare game was AEG, and now this one is not.
Yeah, hopefully there's some drama we can uncover.
Yeah, I
and
wanna-
talk
I
about
wanna-
on
yeah, I
episode
wanna
126.
So this game is called Empire's End.
I played that.
And I have nothing written down about this game. I'm just going to talk.
Wing
and
it,
hopefully
baby.
someone chimes in because we all just played this game moments ago.
We did.
We are finally just now coming
Hot
down
off the presses
from that play. So this was a Kickstarter. Fulfilled, did good, did great as Brotherwise does with their Kickstarter. Like Overboss Duel and Overboss were great Kickstarters too. They had a deluxe edition with a bunch of wooden, like instead of the cardboard things, you got wooden tokens. So that's cool.
Okay.
We played with the standard issue
I would like
one,
that.
which was also just
It's fine.
as good.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it's great.
I didn't
Yeah,
miss
it's
out
fine.
having the
Got game
wooden
trays
tokens.
too.
The
So
game trays was
fucking
great.
sweet.
So the theme of this game is your empire is at its peak.
It's end.
It's at its peak right now. And then as soon as you start the game, it's about to not
Gonna
be.
Yeah,
get burned
okay.
down.
Yeah, shit's
This
about
is
to
like
happen to your
attrition the
empire.
game.
Yeah, shit's about to happen to your empire, and you just have to take it.
Yeah, fucking take it.
Okay, and try to not take it the most.
End over and take it.
Yeah, it's the player who takes it the least is the winner. So the way the game starts, which again everybody has these tiny little game trays that has all of their stuff in it to start the game.
Thank God
So you
for the tiny little-
Thank God for the tiny little trays.
They're so
you
tiny.
just pass them out and you say, all right, that's your shit for the game. Cool, and that starts. So
It is cool.
Ryan was the first player. He set the order of our empire.
I really liked this. Explain how
Yeah.
this works. I really liked this.
So there's 11 tiles, and they represent our empire. They're named like farm, town, roads, city,
Army.
army.
Yeah.
I went to army, and So Ryan shuffles them up and he places them out in an order, and the rest of us, everybody else, follows suit. So the first player does that and they follow suit. So you kind of have a variable setup to start with. But throughout the game, these tiles are going to move from place to place, changing sort of the layout of your empire versus someone else. But you start on the same foot. You start on the same
footing.
And so there is then this board that doesn't really need to exist, but exists in order to tell you what phase that you're going to go through in this game.
Yeah.
And it like zigzags around the board in this crazy little fashion for some reason.
Funny.
Yeah. So there's 4 different things or phases that you're going to be playing during the round. Most of them are fucking awful.
Terrible.
So
Horrifying.
The worst phase is the destruction phase, which is exactly as it sounds.
Happens about 60% of the time.
And so what you do is you flip over one of these destruction cards, disastrous cards, okay? And it says something on it like a flood. And you're like, okay, well, that sucks. And then it has a number on it and tells you what location in your line of 11 that flood is going to fuck up.
Yep.
So it'll say 6. So everyone takes this little flame token and puts it on the 6th tile in their empire, which at the beginning of the game is the same tile because we haven't moved them yet. But as people move, it might be my 3-point road, but it might be Natalie's 25-point city.
Right.
And then that blows. So then there's also these icons of the resources that you're trying to collect throughout the game as well. And those are essentially your pass tokens where you're sort of giving I guess the theme is that you're using those to avoid the disaster, right? So I'm paying food or something to avoid the flood,
or building
disaster.
infrastructure.
Right? So that's sort of the theme. So if you've ever played No Thanks, this round goes exactly like this, where you say pass. And the way that you pass is you take a token from behind your little player shield and you put it on the card that matches it and you pass. So then now it's Ryan's turn. Ryan has a choice to pass, or he can say, I'm going to take the disaster, and he takes all the tokens that are on that card and the disaster, and he flips over his thing that got burned down or flooded or whatever. He flips it over and then gets to place that card in a different city or in a different spot, and that gives you a little bit of bonus. They're all good. Some of them are better. So you get a little bit of bonus in case if you burn something down. And there could get to a point where you're taking 5, 6, 7, 8 tokens because nobody wants that. And you're kind of playing this game of chicken almost of like, I think I'm going to try to send this around again.
Yeah.
That's like the best part
They
of No
don't
Thanks,
want
right?
it, so,
like, all right, Ryan and Natalie have this tile have this disaster on a 25 or 32 point building. Mine's only on a 3-point road. Let's see if I can send it around again.
Yeah, because I'll take it no matter what.
They don't want it, and I'll just take it and lose 3 points. And then the other phases are things like income, kind of, where it's called economy phase, where you look at your cards that you haven't burned to the fucking ground, that have green things on them, and you collect the resources. There's also an industry phase where you can activate these brown cards, which turn things into stuff or give you kind of powers, and also lets you then repair one building, but you have to pay a ton of resources that you're using to pass, and then it'll just burn down the next turn anyway.
Burn it down.
And then there's a military thing where you use your military strength in your empire to fight a card. And you continue to play until you're fucking ruined. And then you count up your points of your city tiles, like your empire tiles that are not burned to the ground.
Yeah.
And any scoring things that you have throughout the game or end-game scoring cards. And I'm going to let you guys start. What did you think of Empire's End?
You want to start? You want me to start?
Ooh, let's let Natalie start.
Sure, I can start.
People like it when the girl talks.
All right. Here's how I start. Theme, no. Bidding, no. Phase track, yes. Disasters, no.
She liked one thing.
25% so far.
I mean, the theme, we kind of talked about it earlier with Zhanguo or whatever. That's not really my empires. Is not really a theme that I like am into.
Yeah.
I'm not really into like bidding in games. The disasters were just stressful. The phase track I thought was interesting. That felt like unique to me, and I liked how it was just like that was the game. You just go along this track and you just do the thing that it says. You know, like now we're going to do this. Now we're going to do the military. Now we're going to do the disaster again. Now we're going to do the income, and you just go along until you get to the end. Like I kind of thought that was fun.
I agree.
I didn't hate this game. It was just too stressful for me. I think it got a lot better. At the beginning, a lot of times I felt really paralyzed with indecision You know, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Which is your same complaint with no thanks.
Exactly. Yeah. It paralyzes me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, obviously taking is bad, but passing it is,
Right, it
is
gets
just
rid of
getting rid of
stuff.
my stuff, but then taking it gives me stuff, and then it burns the city. Like, when do I know when to, like, how do I
That's the
balance
juice.
this? And it's difficult and
Yeah.
stressful in a not great way for me, but I mean, that's on par with how I feel in other games similar to this. Unlike No Thanks, this game has a lot more game to it, so there's a lot more to lose. There's a lot more game to it. It's not just like putting some little red tokens on a card with a number on it. You know what I mean?
Right. It's rude, but yes.
But also, because of that, I liked it better than No Thanks, I guess, for some reason. I guess maybe because there was a little more to it and a little bit more goes into making the decision, where No Thanks is literally just take it or don't take it. You know, like, this has more to it than that. And
Yeah,
I
it's
liked that better.
It's hard to be like, it's like no thanks. But it's really just one part, like that.
Yeah, a
just
piece
the
of it
pa-
is like No Thanks.
But that had to be from no thanks.
Right.
But there's don't even think that this game is anything like no,
No,
thanks, other
that's
than that
true.
one phase.
It's like saying a feast for Odin. It's like, oh, this is just patchwork.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Exactly
That's
like
a good
that.
point. But yeah, in the end, I guess we ended up we all had like similar number of burned tiles. So like, that's kind of good to know. Like, it kind of just naturally evened out in that way. I mean, obviously, like, what point value we had burned was probably different, but like, I don't know. I guess that was like, that made me feel better in the end. It's not like somebody ran away with it and somebody just like,
Right, we were
we kind
all
of had to
extremely
because of that
close,
balance. Like,
score-wise.
like, to be able to continue, you had to take burn tiles at some point, and you had to take the stuff at some point. But then sometime when you had stuff, you could just pass on things when it was really bad for you. I don't know. And then taking the innovation, like, cards that you put underneath that give you extra actions. I liked that, but at the same time, like, none of them really stood out. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, there's just another thing to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know. In general, my thoughts were like good, not great, but the stress made it kind of hard for me to want to play it more.
Okay.
Like, I did not like it, but I didn't like it.
That's fine. I didn't
Not like it, but you didn't
I didn't learn
like
this
it. Got it.
game and think Natalie's gonna
Yeah, I
love
know.
this.
Yeah.
I was like, Natalie, just please play this.
When you said no thanks, I was like, oh shit, this sounds great for me.
I was kind of
Natalie does not
expected to be
no
like
thanks.
hate it, and I didn't. I was like, because there's some games where I'm just like, I'm never playing this again.
I have similar yet different thoughts.
Okay.
Similar yet different.
Yeah,
I liked it more than you.
Okay.
I thought
you didn't.
almost everything about this game was really cool. I love that we have seen another game now that implements a no thanks mechanism.
I agree.
Like, that's one of my favorite fucking filler games of all time. I think that's
Of
so
all
fun.
time.
No one's done that? I feel John DeClaire is like, I'm going to do that.
I'm gonna, no thanks.
Like, it's been
Awesome.
a long enough
Except
time
Natalie.
that came out.
Did he
Let's
make
implement that. I don't
No.
think so.
Oh.
Well, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I have no fucking clue.
I'm gonna go with no.
Let's check it out.
I'm gonna
Let's
go
look
with
right
no.
now. We're going to stop everything.
I feel like John DeClaire is
No,
like, I've met him like once or
thanks.
twice. He looks like he's 25, so he would have made that
Oh,
when he
okay.
was
So
like
he
10.
didn't. Yeah, 2005 is when that came out. John D. Clare. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Thorsten Gimmier.
Okay, so no.
Give me your dick. Give me.
Ryan.
Ryan. Ryan.
Okay,
Poor guy.
I love the fact that he used the no thanks mechanism. I thought that was really clever. I was really excited to do that. It gave me even more stressful feelings than no thanks, because like Natalie mentioned, no thanks is literally just you're putting red chips on cards with numbers on them. That's the whole fucking game. You're just literally just trying to collect the cards or not collect the cards, and the whole entire decision tree there is: do I wait and put another chip on it, or do I take it and, just in case someone else takes it in front of me? Like, what do I do? And that's the whole game.
Yeah.
This one, that's not the whole game. That's one part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of other stuff of the game. And all the other stuff of the game is very frightening and terrifying and scary and really stressful. And it gave me feelings that I
Scary.
did not enjoy. It gave me stress that I don't... I don't want to say I wasn't having fun because I kind of was having fun, but I was like,
But you didn't like how like your body was feeling.
I was in a state of panic. I was like panicked, like, oh my God, when I have to deal with 2 cards, I don't have enough stuff back here. Oh my God. And it never really fell off the rails. Like I thought it, the whole time though, you're thinking
like
it's going to fall. You think you're going to fall off the rails the whole time and you're just going to like, everything's going to blow up, everything. And that didn't happen
like your butt.
to any of us actually. But I felt like it was going to, and I didn't really enjoy, personally, I didn't enjoy that feeling, or I should say like, it was cool to experience it, but I don't know that I would be like, let's play that again because I was
you
like,
don't want to have that
I don't want to have that nervous, stressed out feeling the whole game. But that wasn't the game's fault. That's a me thing. And but back to what I said. I think I liked every single individual component about it. I really liked the no thanks thing. That was my favorite part. I really liked the line of tiles that you had and how when you get cards, you like tuck them underneath, and then depending on where you tuck them, that like makes you like have to think about where to place your tiles, and then you can swap them to put them in cool spots. And then like, oh, do I take this card? It burns that down, but it gives me this green resource that I'm going to need, that's going to give me a boon of stuff. And I can see on the track that the green thing is coming up in 2 things. And so I'm going to so maybe it's fine. And so there's a lot to think about as you're looking at the next cool thing I like in this game, which is that action line.
Okay.
It's like a line.
Action line.
I guess it's like a...
The action?
I guess it's like
like the track.
You know what's
I guess it's like a zigzag.
Yeah,
You're
tell
the
us
round
what phase
track,
it is or whatever.
phase,
Yeah, they weren't great.
It's literally just like, we're going to do this action now, we're going to do this action now. And it's like, I was like Natalie said, I was like, that's actually really fucking cool.
I feel like I've never really seen any game do that.
I mean, I feel like games do that, but it's usually like phase 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, no,
1,
yeah.
2,
Yeah.
3,
It's
4.
like there's 5
this was
phases
kinda
and you go through
there was no really order to them. They were just kind of like all over the place.
Going to happen,
Right.
which was really
that's
important.
the part I liked the most.
It wasn't like there was 10 of them. There was like 30 of them.
You only do the same 4 things.
Yeah, but it's not like in a pattern.
That was my favorite part, though, was that you could see when a phase was going to happen, so you could hedge a little bit better. I was like, okay, this card I'm going to take, if I take this, it's going to burn down my military building. But I can see that I'm going to get the industry phase.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, industry.
Yeah.
Before the next military phase happens, so I will get a chance to rebuild this military tile before it happens. So maybe that changes your mindset about, okay, maybe it's okay. Maybe I'll take that card because it gives me a bunch of tiles that Jeff and Natalie just put out, and they don't want it. So maybe I'll just take it. It doesn't hurt me that much, and I can just rebuild it, and I'll be fine. And that happened a couple times, and felt like a good payoff. So I think overall, I actually did really like this game. Personally, for me, it wasn't how do you say this phrase? The sum of the game did not equal the whole of its parts. I liked all the parts individually. Putting it together as a game, it was too stressful for me. And I was like, I think I would be too stressed out.
Yeah.
But everything individually, I loved it. I thought it was very, very, very cool.
Stuff. I do like too that every time like a disaster came out, you'd have to put like your fire token on like the numbers, in the order it is.
My God, you'd fucking
in your
forget.
display. But then eventually, even though it started the same, eventually we were moving stuff around individually, and then they would be like different tiles. So like there was times where like for both of you it was like your 25-point tile, but for me it was only like my 8-point tile. So everybody's kind of like, well, it's not that bad for Natalie to take that one.
I wonder why he didn't. I wonder why he didn't do a variable setup at the beginning. Why do we all have the exact same row? How come we don't just all like shuffle them up and put them in a row?
Yeah, I don't know. I
wonder. Because it seems like it would create
just start on equal footing right away.
Like it would create unequal footing, and then the cards would be valued differently from the
I think
jump.
from the beginning, maybe it's a harder decision because we all like if it was on like the highest point card for all of us at the beginning, we all have like the same stakes,
right? And we all have the same stuff too. So it's like I don't want to take it, you don't want to take it, and it's like, well, I went first, so I'm going to run out of stuff.
Maybe it lowers the randomness just slightly.
Like if I have my 32 and you have your 3
on the first tile,
obviously you're going to let it go around forever.
And again, the same point of like, you have the 35, it's on my 3, and we still have the same amount of material.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something.
Yeah.
Because obviously
that would be
play
unfair.
tested or something.
You're right.
So maybe
that would be unfair.
Maybe we need to start on equal footing. Then it's like the one known thing, and then when you start moving shit around or things burn,
right?
Yeah.
What about you? What'd you think?
So I think I liked it. I definitely liked it more than Natalie, and I wasn't as stressed as Ryan.
Yeah.
Because this wasn't my real empire. I'm building that somewhere else.
This is your board
but
game empire.
I actually liked the stress of, do I take this tile or not? And it felt, I don't know, it was just like that part was really fun. And I liked the balance, like both of you said about, all right, do I take this because it's not that bad, and I get like 5 military tiles.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be a little more like
Conservative?
not
No,
conservative.
I
It
don't
was
think
like
he was conservative. He got rid of that 32.1.
yeah, knowing
quick.
I came in last, but as I was playing, I was like, this is fun. So, which is also good because I didn't know that I was.
Well, I mean, I
last.
also built a little fuel depot there, so it's that's
all right, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, we go back in time and take these points away. Natalie wins. I was being like maybe cognizant of like what tile I put out there. Like I had some engines that really helped my wheat. So if I could put a wheat or an axe on the thing, I usually put the axe out there. Or if there was like 6 of the little food tiles thing, I was more likely to take that because I could turn food into 2 other things.
Yep.
So I liked that there was that kind of fun balance. I liked, like you said, sliding they're like half a cards. They're fucking weird.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
like
they're,
it's
like,
like that.
skinny and long.
What's that game company? The pack of gum.
Oh yeah,
That's
like
kind
pack
of what
gum
it seemed
cards.
like.
Yeah.
They were that thin.
Yeah.
So I liked sliding them under there, and I really liked that there was a lot of cards that had to do with things that were next to those tiles, which then
Yeah.
forced you to move tiles around. Because at first I'm like, why am I even moving tiles? But then you start to see these little things that like, I get an extra hammer if this is next to a town, and you're like, I need that
Yeah.
fucking hammer because I have to fix things.
And then you
Or-
put it next to the town, and then you
And then
lose the
immediately it
military,
gets blown
and it
up.
makes you move
Immediately.
it.
And it's-
Or it gets blown up.
Yeah, I think it's there's a lot of engine building games, and I like the idea that you're destroying something. Like there's Space Station Phoenix, where you start with your best engine, right? You start with what's the best.
Yeah, you have the highest
And
points,
then you
like you
sort
said
of
at
go
the very
down.
beginning.
Yeah, and you
won't
start with like, well, here's your empire.
try to keep
Kiss
as
it
many
goodbye.
as you
You're
can.
gone, bitch.
Yeah. So I'd be
Like
interested
Galaxy
to play
Trucker.
it with two people. There's a backside of the board. The track's a little shorter.
Oh, okay.
And there's no doubles in 2-player game.
Okay.
There were some of these rounds that you had 2 disasters, which was devastating. And you had to pass or pick both of them at the same time, which was kind of a crazy. I liked that idea too. And in a 4-player game, there's more doubles. And like overall, you guys said pretty much all the points that I wanted to say. I enjoyed it. I'll keep it around. The stress is high. There is a lightning mode, which it says that you basically start about 7 or 8 phases into the game, which I might actually do the next time I play, to try to get through the game in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Instead of 45 to an hour. I would love this game at 30.
Yeah.
Maybe the lightning mode would do, and maybe it'll be less stressful in lightning mode because you have 4 less disasters.
That's a good point that you're saying. It didn't feel too long. Like I wasn't.
Yeah.
It felt okay. This is a weird way to say it. It did feel too long, but I didn't. When we were playing it, I wasn't like, oh my god, this going to end?
Right, me either.
But when it was over, I was kind of like, that took a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe that's
You know?
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No,
And
it's
partly
weird
because I know we're ready for the show, and we're like, all right, let's record the show so we can get home. Or I can get home and whatever. But
Yeah.
when I looked at the clock at the end, I'm like, okay, that took about an hour, which is probably 20 minutes too long. It says 45 in the box.
I agree with you. I think it's 20, but maybe if it was 20 minutes shorter,
Yeah.
I think it would help alleviate some of the panic.
Yeah.
I'm curious if the lightning
You know
mode
what the panic is long.
still hits that like because in this game with engine building games, you want an arc.
Yeah.
And I felt like you. I think Ryan said it with the arc felt good.
Yeah.
Right. The arc felt like, well, I'm doomed. And then toward the end, you're like, I can save this tile,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
then
but
gives
this
me
one-
point, and you
Yep.
you feel a little better, and that's a great feeling in engine building games. What they should do. Well, I'm hoping that lightning mode gives you that feeling, maybe in like a shorter time.
This one definitely felt like for me, the entire play was like, I'm driving a car and I'm hydroplaning across the freeway.
Yeah. You're driving like up a mountain, and you can't move.
Yeah, and there's no rails on the side. I'm like coming down the mountain. There's no rails, and it feels like any moment I could just fly off the cliff and die.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's what it felt like for me. I was like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? That's gonna just cause what I have, because you have this like delicate ecosystem. I for my specific thing, I was like, okay, this has to be here.
Yeah.
It's between these 2 ones that are on fire, and it gives me a bunch of points. So I can't lose that. Cannot. And then I'm like, then I got my 35 point or 32 point right next to my 25 point. I'm like, I can't lose those.
Right.
And I'm like, everything else is on fire. So it's
And then if like one's on fire and it happens to be that one, you have to go to the adjacent one. You're like, oh god, that's the other
now
one.
I got
so now 6
Oh.
and 7 are bad fucking numbers.
and so and you, I mean, I don't know about you two, but most of the game I had like just a few tokens. And so I
I
like
had so
put
many
a couple
tokens.
out.
I should have went a little.
You should have
crazier.
gone crazy,
Yeah.
maybe. Well, maybe not, because
There was a few times I had a lot, but then I would spend a lot.
at the very beginning,
Yeah.
I had a fuck ton. I had more than both of you, I feel like, at the very beginning, because I took the first couple cards.
Yeah.
And then the halfway through and the end, I was like, I was on
broke.
fumes. I was like on E. And I was like just getting, like, you guys would take them. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God, because if I had comes around to me again, I'm gonna have to,
Yeah.
and then it's on fire. And you guys would take them, and so that's one thing, I guess. Versus no thanks, this isn't trying to be no thanks, but in no thanks, I feel like you get screwed a lot more. How many times did
Yeah.
you guys get screwed into taking a card this game?
None.
Oh, 0.
I took them on purpose.
One, I did
You did
once. Once I was like, I don't want this, but I have to.
Yeah.
Oh.
In no thanks, you're getting fucked a lot.
Yeah.
It does seriously happen a lot more in no thanks. So that is it is definitely a no thanks mechanism. It's not trying to be no thanks. I know that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it did feel cool that it was in there
Yeah.
anyway. So.
I liked it more. I liked it more than I thought I was going to like it, based on just again initial feeling. Like you always get that gut when you read the rules and you set it up. You're like,
Yeah.
how am I going to like this?
Yeah.
And
I
think
even
I
liked it more than I thought. I expected to not
Yeah.
like it at all.
Good.
When you were like, no thanks, I was like, ugh.
I know. I felt bad for you. I was like,
But I was like,
feels-
okay, it's not
I was
that
like,
bad.
sweet, no thanks. Fuck yeah.
It just feels so different that like if you could flip this game on its entire end and call it like Empire's Beginning.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
bid on these cool things to add to your lineup, and you eventually have the same amount of points.
That would be
It's
awesome.
but is the stress different because you're like, do you feel like connected to these tiles that mean fucking nothing, that you're destroying them versus like I'm getting
that's
tiles?
That's a good question. That wasn't what was causing me stress. What was causing me stress was that, like I said, that delicate balance of like this tile is between two fire tiles, and it represents like 20 points.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it's like the
I
car
do not
comes
wanna
up and it's
burn
like the
this
fire's
one.
there, and it's like, oh man, it's going to cost me 10 hammers to fix.
Like, I don't know if I
have
can afford that.
one.
Do it.
Right.
I have one, and it's like, oh my god, that's going to come out. Oh my god, and then that was a stress for me. It was like, I'm not even going to necessarily, but I might lose that card.
Yeah.
And if I do, that's it. That game is over.
It's over.
Like if you didn't get the hammers to rebuild your 32-point card,
Yeah, I've been
you'd have
way
been
behind.
way the
Yeah.
fuck
Oh,
behind.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
way behind. And it would have been like, you're off the rails now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was what the stress was for me. But so that was Empire's End by John
Well,
DeClaire.
John DeClaire.
The Gamecasters have a sponsor. We have partnered up with Modern Meeple, company behind the famous Gamey Susan, which is a lazy Susan that holds extremely high-quality board game component trays. These trays are the picture of luxury. Made right here in the USA, they are made from a wood-based material that's dyed throughout with a number of different colors to choose from, and should you drop or ding them, they will still retain that color. These things are so great looking on the table, and displaying them on your game shelves will really elevate your status with your neighbor, which is good because he's been lording that damn elk head over the fireplace for the last 5 years and really needs to shut up. So head on over to modernmeeple.com to check out all the great products they have. And if you find something you like, enter discount code GAMECASTERS at checkout to receive free shipping and a couple cool Gamecasters keychains as well. Once again, that's modernmeeple.com. The Gateway Network is now defunct, but our merchandise sure isn't. If you're looking to get some great Gamecasters or Mad Board Gamer gear, head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store and you'll find that there. We have also partnered up with Tim of Sir Meeple, who is creating custom Gamecasters designs for us, so you can go to sirmeeple.com, click the pull down under creators, and find us there under Board Game Podcasts. More stuff will be added frequently, and what a great way to support two creators at the same time. A dream for most of us, am I right, Natalie? So once again, that's sirmeeple.com. You click the pull down under creators and find us under Board Game Podcasts. If you're looking to support the show, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers which will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content, or content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which you sometimes listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support, guys. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that blank that Jeff's had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters to help out.
Possibly the best way to interact with all of us, though, is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our server. It's a great way to engage with all three of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. So check out our Discord server.
Why don't you step inside? Come on, it's warm in there. You think you found some grass, but nope, it's pubic hair. You wonder why there's so much underwear. You stepped inside of Natalie's Nook.
Today on Natalie's Nook, we're going to talk a little bit about strategy.
Ooh,
No, we're not.
I heard about that.
You have to.
Okay.
It's a requirement.
Okay, fine.
So you are presented a new game. It's a strategy game. I kind of want to talk about, like, for you guys, and I'm sure I think that what you're going to say is going to be very different than what I'm going to say.
Okay.
But you know, you're getting this. You get taught this heavy game, or you learn this heavy game. You're about to play it. What goes through your brain next? How do you approach the game? Like, what kind of things do you do to figure out strategies, or do you just kind of like fumble around? Figuring things out as you go. What's your process when you start a new game that's kind of a heavier strategy type game?
So how do we take on strategy of this new game we learned?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, you want to go first?
Okay.
And another follow-up, too, is kind of like, do you...
I already forgot the first question.
How do you approach
Got it.
Yeah.
the game?
Right, as regards to
Strategically.
strategy. And then, like, I don't know, do you sometimes, like, see the path to victory? Is that, like, never a thing that you see right away? Like, how do you decide where to start kind of thing?
I'm very interested to hear Jeff's response to this specifically.
Okay. So
We're gonna make him go first?
know, right?
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
what?
So is the game is brought to me and taught to me. Is that kind of the situation? So I show up to
Either
game
way,
night,
or you learn it. It's
or
just
I
a game
learn
you've
it.
never played
Okay.
before.
I'm gonna tell you what I don't do, which
Okay.
I think some people do.
Okay.
I do not go on Board Game Geek before I play a game to look up what other people have done.
Right.
I don't do that.
Yeah.
Same.
I don't want to go in with my mind already blown with thinking that, oh, this person on Board Game
Here's-
Geek typed something out and they won by doing military. That's just
Yeah,
random.
yeah.
Or they won by doing this. That
You want to discover that on your own.
I want to discover that on my own, whether it's good or bad, because I would go in like thinking that, well, that worked for that guy. And that bothers me, because then I'll maybe like if I win, that cheapens it. Like, oh, I found it, nobody else looked or whatever.
Before you guys play a game, do you see people talking about like their strategies, or do you just like
No.
learn the rules and then you just try it?
I learn the rules and then I try it.
same.
And
I
then
don't think I've ever done that
obviously, on
before.
Monday night, sometimes I show up, I don't know what game I'm playing. So I show
Yeah,
up and I get
that's
taught
true,
the game,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
and this is assuming this is a new game, right? This isn't a game I've played
Right,
100 times.
correct.
So
Although I might want to hear that too, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess so. I show up. I don't then once Bill teaches whatever game, or I teach Revive and play Revive. I don't then go and look while I'm playing
No,
to like
yeah.
what works.
But
What are
what like
people doing?
typically goes through your brain? Like, okay, you just learned this game, you just taught this game, we're taught this game, and then you're like, gotta play.
I think I have to look at, how do I get points? Okay, so I try to look at the board and go, all right, how do I get points?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like, what seems like a
in
lucrative way to
in-
get points?
Yeah, in Zhanguo,
I know it's so hard.
I know it's like a just
Remember.
very boring white man.
I was
trying
going
to say,
well, it's just not our
Zhanguo.
language. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thinking about that and going, okay, let me just look at the board and go, where are their points?
Yeah.
Okay, and go, all right, there's points over here by this great wall. There's points in this area. And then I go, okay, how do I get to that point? And then maybe that's a way to just start, is going, okay, building the wall gets me points. How do I build the wall? And I look
Kind
at
of
that.
go backwards from there.
Yeah, maybe it's like it's teachers out there. If you're going backwards design, you make the test first and then you go backwards. What do I need to teach them?
yeah, for sure.
Some people don't like that. Some people just teach and they make the test at the end. You're not forward thinking enough. But there's also times where, especially when I'm playing with Devin, where I don't care of the score and she doesn't care of the score, where we just are willy-nillying and just playing and going, what does this game have? And it might take, there's been tons of games where I play and it takes 2 rounds for me to go, okay, this is what I need to be doing. And I think that goes into just getting the cadence of the games. Like, okay, if I play my worker here, I get to do that and this and this. And you don't know that right away. Or I see somebody else take a turn that's cool, and then it sort of like opens up a door to being like, that's what you can do in this game. And then try to go again backwards to figuring that out.
Yeah.
Where I had in Zhanguo, I watched Paul Grogan teach me the game. Taught me the game. I played it with Devin. Later, as I was just sitting at school, I was like, let me see what they played. And because they have a whole like playthrough. And I watched them play the first few rounds, and Paul had this thing where whenever he moved his boat or whenever he did something, he had like 9 fucking actions on his board of like doing that. And I was like, that's a cool way to play that.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I see if I can get that engine building better.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he won because I didn't watch the whole thing, but the other person more diversified in that, which I kind of did. I don't know. I guess that's what I try to do. I try to look for points and then I work backwards to how can I get my person or thing out there to get those points.
I mean, that makes total logical sense, but I will say I don't do that for some reason.
What do you do?
Well, I think typically for me, when I first play a game, I'm not really thinking about winning. I'm just more thinking about like
Get through
how
it.
do
Get
I
through it.
Yeah, kind of. Not in like a bad way, but more like okay, he just taught me this. I want to like make sure I know what to do. And so like I'm more of the fumble through it type person in the first play, where I'm just like, okay, what I see what I have, what's something I can do? And of those somethings I could do, which one seems like the best? And I'm not really thinking ahead of like what is my end goal for getting the most points. It's more just like, what do I do in this moment? Where should I start? And then I kind of just like go through it. And then sometimes I just play the whole game that way. And then at the when the game's over, I kind of learn from it and I think, okay, I see how it goes now. Next time I'm going to try this strategy. Or sometimes I'm playing it and halfway through I'm like, oh, I see. And then I'll try to like switch gears towards that point goal.
What game do you like better?
I think when I see
when you see it in the middle.
When I see it in the middle, yeah. But if I'm like enjoying the game and then I get through it and then sometimes I get excited if I enjoyed it, I'm like, ooh, that was fun. I get it now. I want to try it again doing this, and then kind of forgot what I was going to say.
That's my fault.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead, Ryan.
Okay.
I'll think of it.
Think of it and then interrupt.
Yeah.
It's fine. So for me, what I like to do, well, I don't even know if I like to do this. It's just kind of what happens whenever I play any single.
I'm sorry.
I told you to interrupt me. You're not sorry. You're not sorry.
I just thought of it. The other thing I was going to say is another thing that I do is if there's some unique ability to me, like, or even like we played Terra Mystica last night and everybody has like their own different power, I'll kind of just start there. Because I assume if I have the special power,
it must
that's going to somehow
special.
Sure, Marco Polo or
yes.
Right. That if I like
a groundbreaking
if I
thing.
like take advantage of that, that'll probably
open up a pathway.
Yeah, give me the points that I
that kind of dovetails into what I was going to say.
Yeah.
What I typically do every time I play a game, it's like it's so obvious, like Natalie said, that Jeff said, to just be like, okay, how do I get points and how do I go about working backwards to get myself to get points? That's the smart way. What I do, I am very like, what is my best move right now? That's what my typical play style is. I don't typically.
I feel like
I typically am like, okay, I'm going to do this. I think this is the best thing for me to do right now. And then as I go through the game, it starts to be like, okay, I kind of screwed up. I need to pivot. Or it's like, now I know what to do, and now I'm gonna go for that because now the strategy has kind of opened up to me. I never think that I strategize. I rarely feel like I'm strategizing. I think that I am very tactical. I feel like I'm like, okay, this is at this spot. That and it might maybe, I mean, tactics and strategy are very similar.
Yeah.
But so like, I feel like I'll be like playing a game and then I'm like, okay, I don't know what I'm just going to, I guess I'll take this because it's always good to have money. So I'll take some money and then, okay, I need some workers. I'll get some workers. And then I'm like, okay, now I got workers and money. What can I do with them? And I look at the board and I'm like, well, Jeff went there, so I can't go there. Natalie went there, I can't go there. So of the places I can go left, which one is the best with these? That one. Boom. And then I get that. And then later on in the game, usually I'm like, oh, because I did that, now I can probably do this. And that's what always happens to me in games. I never see the this at the beginning.
Yeah.
It always opens itself up to me as I play, and I almost feel like I'm kind of going by the seat of my pants. And there are certain times, this is not like a fast rule, but there are times where, you know, I'm like, okay, I get it. This is what I need to do. I need to do this, that, and this. And if I can do it in this time, I got it. I don't know if I would call that personally strategizing. It probably is, but I always feel like what I'm doing is definitely just making, like, I'm thinking maybe 1 to 2 steps ahead at most. I'm rarely thinking,
Sure.
3
End
plus.
goal type
Yeah,
thing.
until it starts to present itself,
Close
like
to
you
the
said,
end.
in the middle game, where I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to see that I need to start switching to this mindset to start getting, because if I don't do that, then I'm not going to score end game points. I can think specifically of Barcelona, where we were playing, and I felt like I just got it. Mm-hmm. Another game I feel like I just got was Rajas of the Ganges,
Yeah.
where I don't know why. I didn't feel like I had a specific strategy.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was like, I know what to do every turn. That's going to be the best thing to do.
Yeah. And
Somehow.
then it just ends up being
And then it just like,
the best thing
and
ever.
then it's like I
we
win.
made that list of games we feel like we're smarter than.
Right.
Where
Yeah.
I always do well or win homesteaders.
Yeah.
Yes, right, you do.
And it just, I'm like,
Yeah.
I just get it.
Does it? Do
The
you
Matrix
think?
just
But it's like,
happened.
do you
When you start, do you have like, this is what I'm going
Yeah.
to do this play, and this is how I'm going to
like
do
you don't
it?
plan
No,
it
not
out? You're kind
necessarily.
of it just kind of happens.
But this is hard to go back and remember the first time I played Homesteader, because now I've played it 20 times.
Right.
And I know the majority of the tiles in there. I don't know what order, but I can see how other people are playing and go, I can pass here.
Yeah. How do you
I
value
can pass
that?
here.
Right.
You've that's just playing the game.
Yeah,
I think a lot.
you've done it a bunch.
But I'm curious and it's hard to self-evaluate where you get to that halfway point, because I think that's where I start to, when we've always done this halfway, how do you feel, where I start to realize if I really like a game or not.
Yep.
And I'll go back to Zhanguo, but like at the halfway point, I was like, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like I like what I'm doing. To then go, all right, I want to start the next game at that middle game.
Right.
To then try
Yeah.
to get better at it. Where, at the halfway point, how do you feel the game is going for you?
yeah.
But are you look, in your play of Zhanguo, did you set out to do something and then enact a plan to do it? You know what I mean? Like, were you like, okay,
I was
it looks
more
like this is the way to
almost
get
like
points?
80% done before. Like I was in round 4 or 5 of 6 before I figured out this is what I'm just going to try to do the next couple rounds.
Okay.
Because I think of how heavy that game is.
Yeah, it's tough.
But it sounds
to
like he
know.
also maybe is like, here's a way to get a bunch of points, like he said. And then he's like, okay, what do I need to do that? I need to do this. I need to do this. So at the very beginning, to even get to the first part, to get to doing that, I need
That's like
money.
ideally what
and
I
so
would
then
like
he's
to
like,
do.
okay, I'm going to
Yeah.
go to the money spot. Like maybe like, like that's how he like originally planned.
That would be, I guess, like the like a perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Right, where I can
Right.
you can think a handful of steps ahead. We play with games a lot with Bill, and he's very smart, and his strategy is usually right. Where he will sit there, and whether he knows or not, he's like, I know my next 6 turns.
Yeah.
And he does.
got that
he
kind of
does
brain.
know his next 6 or
Yeah.
7 turns when he's playing games like Kalis, even
Right.
that has 0 randomness.
Right. You're just playing the players and stuff. Yeah.
And that's crazy to me.
Same.
Which is also why I'm trying to now like do my best to play back-to-back games. Play Revive 2 or 3 times within a.
So it opens up to you.
Yeah, if at that halfway mark where I feel like, ooh, I got my little gaming floater. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, I like this. Try to play it again. Maybe I start at that higher point where I want the game to open up to me.
Yeah.
Right? I want it to be there. And Natalie saying that she likes it at the halfway mark. When she figures it out, the halfway mark is what I wanted you to say, because then the game is, you want to play it the second time.
Yeah.
Right? You want to play it more at a second time where the game opens up halfway through versus if you get all the way through and then it opens up and you're like, okay, I think I see what I want you to do next time. I don't think you're likely as more like to pull it off the table instead of when you're halfway through Barcelona and you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
We're playing this again soon.
Right. It needs to hit
or like,
immediately.
Let's fucking restart it now. There's games where I've wanted to do that and be like, we've all kind of seen the cadence of the game.
Let's go
just
back.
Redo it.
Re-rack it.
Yeah.
Or like Planet Unknown, we played back to back the first time we played it, and I was like, all right, we kind of see it. Let's just do it and expand the game more. Like Revive, I know you guys threw a bunch of stuff in right away with Revive, but I wanted to play Revive again with the next layer because of like now I have more to uncover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know, Ryan.
It's hard to think about.
Something that I've noticed with you is when I play games with you is like sometimes when there's games, and it's like, I don't know, like let's just say it's a game that has like a player board where you're taking stuff off the board and it reveals stuff.
Yep.
Maracaibo.
Not like necessarily a Terra Mystica.
But that's a game where you have a player board and you take stuff off and it gives you stuff.
Yeah, but like that like gives you like resources or stuff. Like I'm talking like gives you like maybe points.
Okay. Revive does that.
Okay.
Have we talked about Revive on the show?
I don't think so.
Should we talk about Revive?
I would love to.
Yeah, let's talk about
like,
Revive.
Revive. Let's say, there's like you get points over here, you get points over here, you get points over here. I'm more of the person because I can't fucking help it. And even if I try not to, I end up doing it anyways. I try to do everything. And so like, I'm like, ooh, there's a decent points, there's some decent points. And so like my thing is I usually try to like get as many of those as I can and hopefully they'll add up to some good points. But I noticed with you that you look for the what's the thing that has like if you get all the way to the end of that, it has like a lot of points.
True.
Like let's say I'm getting like 10 points here, 12 points here, 8 points here, and then you're like, oh, this one gives you 35 points. And you're like, I'm going to get to the end of that.
And a couple other small
You're like, I'm going to do everything
versus...
I can to get to the end of that to get that big money point.
Yeah, that big old payoff.
And I feel like you do that all the time. And I'm always like, is that like a strategy that he like purposely does every time there's games with that?
I'm 9 times out of 10, it just materializes halfway through. The beginning, I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to this looks cool. I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. Revive is a good example. Arc Nova, I think, is a better example for me. Where Arc Nova, I'm like, I don't know what to do first. I guess I'll get some cards. And then I get some cards and I'm like, okay, I really want to get this.
It's a tactical game.
It's a very tactical game because there's a lot of randomness in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of randomness in it. And that's what I enjoy about it so much is like, I'm like, oh, I got these cards. How do I get this? Oh my God, if I get this card, that card's going to give me a conservation point and this, thing. And then I'll get the Africa partnership tile. Yeah. Now I have 2 Africa tokens and one of the conservation. It's like, and that to me is like, I love when that tactic opens up and you see 2 to 3 turns what you should do. And then what's hard for me is usually I do that. I'll have a thing where I'll shoot my load, right? And I'm like, boom, boom, and I'm done. I'm like, now I got to start over.
Yeah.
That's what happens to me a lot more than not.
Now
I did this big thing and now I don't have a plan for the rest of the game.
It's not close enough to the end of the game or...
Yeah, and it's like, crap, no, I got to start over. Or a lot of times I'll shoot out to a lead, because I saw these 4 to 5 turns maybe where it's like, I got this really cool thing that's going to happen, but I haven't thought beyond that. And so a lot of times if I lose games, I feel like that's the reason where, especially I've noticed this when playing with Jeff, where I'll have like, I did that and then I did this and then I did that. And Jeff's like slow burning it,
looking at end game.
Like, here's what I'm going to do. And it's like, I didn't even think about scoring that thing. I just forgot that existed. And he's like, yeah, well, I've been looking at it all game. So,
right.
when I'm like, I was looking at the in-game thing. And that happens a lot to me more than it doesn't. I am not as strategic of a player as I am a tactical player. And that's just something I've noticed.
Well, it's also why you're very good at like chess and you're good at
prefer seeing
obviously
the
has
now.
to be a balance of strategy. You have to have you can't just be like close my eyes and roll a die and be like, I'll take the 2 action.
Right.
You can't do that.
Right.
Where like you said, there's like a few turns ahead, but not more than that.
Yeah, it's like 3 to 5 turns. I feel like is my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Where I'm pretty good there.
And
I know what to do now.
Natalie playing the game and trying to get all the points. It's just a different way to explore the game. And I think this is why heavy strategic games like they need to be played
multiple times,
more than once. And it's okay. If you play it and you don't like the exploration that you did, don't play it again. Throw it away. Whatever. Sell it. Do whatever you want. But if you found some like in it, play it again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you might explore a completely different avenue than you did the first time.
I have another
And again,
question.
it goes against what we kind of do sometimes, where we play
Yeah.
a game and we don't ever play it again.
Yeah.
But if you have the capability to play a game, find it good, and go, man, there's a lot I didn't do. Like, play it again.
Yeah, try
Yeah.
that. Didn't
So do you guys do that? Like when you play a game again or several times, and do you purposely go into that game and saying, I want to try something different than I
Never.
did before?
I don't think I've ever done that.
I do that sometimes.
There's sometimes where I purposely am like, I'm going to do something different because this didn't work out for me last time. And then
Yeah.
I somehow end up doing the same thing. And I'm like, I'm stuck here again. Like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit. I'm a
creature
little bit
habit
bound by.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit bound by. I'm more competitive than I wish I was, and so typically I'm not like I'm just going to try something different. I'm like
wanna
I'm going to
win.
win this game.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
win.
And sometimes if you've won the game before, you do the same thing
Yeah,
again.
I'm like,
because
okay,
you
this
won.
is and it's
Yeah,
like I hate
that's
that
true.
that's important to me on like a molecular level, but it is. It's like for me to have the payoff. It's like I want to know that what I did worked, and so it's like not
because you
it's-
might only play that game one more time.
Yeah, and so it's not as fun for me to just be like, I'm just going to try some crazy ass strategy, and then
Well, not even a crazy ass strategy, just a different one. Like, I went hard for this, but like, it didn't work out
You're just talking
great.
about ass strategies and hard.
Ass.
stuff.
Yeah, ass and hard
Yeah,
strategies.
but like, let me try like to do like some more of this next time, and then
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know that I've ever thought like that.
I've thought about that
I
more
have and then
with
failed.
with recent plays where I've done kind of the 2 or 3 games within like a couple weeks or a month. Like the first time I played Revive, I did a ton of like exploring. I flipped over a lot of tiles. Last
Yeah.
time I Revive, didn't.
Yeah,
I flipped
over
okay,
2.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So for me, when I played Revive, I was like, Natalie was flipping tiles like crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be flipping tiles like
I know,
crazy.
you
I
just
feel like I
couldn't.
just
It didn't
can't.
work
Yeah.
out. I
So
did the
yeah,
same
if
kind
I
of
played
thing.
again, I would be like, well, I do want to flip tiles, but
If you can,
if it
you'll
works
do
out,
it. Yeah,
if
right.
if that 3 to 5 turns that I'd come up with works out that way,
Yeah.
that's what I'll do.
And it
Yeah.
might not. So maybe you don't go in thinking it, but the play ends up being different.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
the part that you explored was different.
Right. It's
For
funny
sure.
because like I think maybe this is for you guys too, and just thinking about it now. But like the thing that I do where like I'm trying to like do everything, or I go in thinking I'm gonna try this new path, and then I just default to
Yeah.
the old path. I think it's almost like a comfort, safety feeling.
Yeah, you know what the actions are, you know how
like
to
that's
take
what I
it.
feel comfortable doing, and I'm scared to go take this risk and like jut out this way and try this crazy thing.
Yeah.
So
And
we,
so like maybe all your how you guys do it is just like a comfort thing as well. Like that's what you're comfortable trying.
yeah, and sometimes
You're
it's,
totally right. It's definitely a comfort
So
zone
we've
thing.
played the game Origins First Builders, which
Yeah, great game.
our game group really likes.
I like that game too.
And Joe played for the first time with us. I don't know, we played it 3 or 4 or whatever, and he did this military strategy. We always kind of joke about it now. He's like, military strategy, you got fucking destroyed. And then the next time we played, he's like, don't. When we ended the first play, he's like, don't do the military strategy. It doesn't work. Blah blah blah. And then the next time we played, he's just took the military strategy again and got destroyed. So we talked about like, don't do the military
so it's like
strategy.
it just naturally came.
It just
like,
worked. He just did it.
I think
Yeah.
sometimes so. Ryan and I read the rules for the games more
Yeah.
than you and Devin would.
Yes.
sure.
And sometimes we,
That gives us an advantage.
when we
for
read
sure.
the rules, we can see maybe how these pieces come together to make a
Right.
whole. And I think that you and Devin are at a disadvantage
100%.
I agree.
because, and there are sometimes where I'll play a game with Devin and I'll take a turn and be like, this is what you can do on your turn. Or she'll start a turn and I'll be like, if you did this in a different order, because I read the rules and there was an
Yeah.
example or there
Yep.
was a
It
something
said
where it's
that,
like, do
yeah.
it in this order and you get 10 more points or you get to
Right.
do something else.
I totally agree with that. The funny thing is, I think me and Devin are the same in this way, as I think we both value winning. We just don't
Devin does
really
not
value
care.
winning that much. And also, we'd rather like be at a disadvantage than spend the time learning the
there's-
rules.
Yes, agreed. She would never be like,
that's
I'm
true.
gonna learn.
So I can have a one-up
Yeah,
on
sit
you.
down
and learn Amerigo tonight.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I value, like I'm not like I don't know how to say it. It's just a visceral
Well,
feeling
I don't
in
like
my
start a
body
game
where I'm
where
like I just
want
try
to
to win.
this.
Yeah, I don't
just
I
like,
don't say that either though.
I hope this
I'm not
is
like
fun.
I gotta win this.
Yeah.
I'm just like when I'm playing, I notice that I'm like, okay, I want to win.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Oh,
not
I think-
but it's not like a I'm not actually saying those words in my
Yeah,
brain.
I think you start with,
I
like-
want to win, but I also am like,
Like, I
If
think
I
maybe
don't.
you start with the emotion that you want to win, but not that you need to win.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like
Some
a
people start the game with you
necessity
need to win.
Right. It's not like, yeah, right. But I definitely am more competitive than not. So I'm not ever just going to play a game and just be like, oh, who cares? Whatever. I'm always going to be
Right.
like, I'll say that, but it's in my head, I'm like, no, I want to win this. I want to do as good. I want to do as good as I possibly can do.
Yeah.
Unless I am in dead last place and there's nothing I can do to come back, I will try at my hardest.
Yeah.
To do as good as I can.
for sure.
I don't know if any of what we said
that
answered
answered anything?
anything
Who
that
knows?
you
Yeah, I
asked.
think it did.
Okay.
I think it did.
We talked.
Yeah.
We talked.
Yeah.
Ooh, check that off the list.
Yeah.
We talked.
Yeah, all right. Done.
Yeah, so I'd say to wrap that all up, my I don't strategize as much as I do tacticize.
Tacticize. Your strategy is to tacticize.
My strategy is to
Sizey.
my tactics. Okay, so for the game of the episode, it's been a long time since we've done this specific game. So this is one that we've done before, and the last time we played it, the reason we haven't done it is because the last time we played it, we achieved victory.
We did?
Yeah,
I don't
it
even
was
remember
Jeff.
that.
I think it was Jeff and me.
Of course. Take me out of it, and then you guys win.
Well,
for
it might have been you and me.
instantly.
I remember I was involved. That's all I remember. I was involved guessing or giving the names or something. We were really fast. And if you haven't guessed by now, this is the name as many games as you can in 3 minutes game. So we have 30 games
Oh, boy.
that Natalie, you are going to give these games to Jeff.
Okay.
And so I'm going to set a timer for 3 minutes. And you can say anything you fucking want to get Jeff to guess these games, except you can't say any of the words that are in the game itself. Again, it's been a while because Jeff and you and me defeated this game. Right? Wasn't it us
Did
two?
we? Yeah.
I didn't remember. Why did you guys play it without me?
We didn't play it without you. I just decided to partake one time.
Yeah, man, my memory is not great.
I could be wrong. Am I wrong about that?
No, we did play it.
I thought we defeated it.
I think we did.
I think
too.
you
think
did.
we defeated
This
it.
sounds familiar, but
Natalie, I have just sent you the 30 games
Okay.
that you were going to feed.
Again, I don't get to look at the
Mama Bird style to Jeff.
oh god,
Are you ready
I
for
apologize,
this?
man.
Now, these are a bunch of, so we haven't done this in a while. So these are all
Yeah.
new. All these are new games to this list, pretty much, I
Okay.
would say. So that's your one hint. Are you ready?
okay, yes,
All right,
I'm
here
ready.
we go. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Okay, this is a newer quick game that has like it's something in your house that everybody has that you pull open and it has a bunch of
Junk
crap
drawer.
in it. Yeah.
Jeez,
Okay.
Got it.
This is a game where there's there's like wooden pieces and then like little cubes
Yeah, the
and then
wooden pieces.
and then you're drawing and then you're
Oh boy.
and
This is called to get 3 games in 30
it's
minutes.
one word and there's a grid of stuff and then you have to like make things with random stuff and then they have to guess the
Picture?
Yes, you could have
Okay.
just said photographs.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
shut up. Okay, this is the game we can't stop talking about. Have you ever?
Revive.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, this is a new Cards Against Humanity game.
Head trip.
Good.
Okay, this is the Spain game.
Barcelona.
Yep. Okay, this is the airplane game. Me and Ryan, like 2-player only.
Sky Team.
Yep. Okay, this
Played
is
that, liked it.
the little drawing game where you draw.
6-second scribble.
Yes. Okay. This is the game
Lucky I
Ryan
got
and
that.
I played Brain, and we didn't like it. Polyomino drawing on. We just talked about it today.
All play.
I'll play the little square box.
Oh, mind script,
Yes.
mind space.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. This is the game
wanna keep
where
hearing that.
where you have a picture and then you draw little lines on it and then you have to see what the
Make the difference.
Yes. Okay. This is the cowboy with polyominoes.
Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Cowboy.
Us, the game you hate, and we play with Ben and M, and it's like a calming
Overlord,
game. No, it's like a
cafe.
calm game where you place the tiles out, but you hated it. And you played it once with us.
Oh,
and we hated it.
Dwarf goes fishing.
Dark Horse Vision.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the game that's like the Japanese little tree,
Bonsai.
and then Sam
Bonsai 2.
McMeeple's game.
Oh, Everstone.
Yep. Okay. The game that's
I almost said Evertree.
that we all love, and it's
Revive.
very yellow.
Marrakesh.
Yes.
Wow, good.
The game you hate with the coffee.
Cafe Overlord Boss Cafe.
that works.
Okay. This is the game where like if you eat these burgers and then you shit your pants.
White Castle.
Yes. And this is like the 4-leaf.
Clover. So Clover.
Yes. Okay. And this is the little one with the pink box, and it has little pictures. The thing you put on your head.
A hat. Oh, that's not a hat.
Yeah. Okay. The Plurpy game that everybody loves, and it's Christmas themed.
Nana.
Okay. the one where a certain color has victory.
Oh.
Okay, so you like draw like there's like a question and everybody writes it and the majority wins and then you get
green team wins.
Yes. Okay.
20 seconds.
You are
Yep. You're moving your hand.
This.
You're drawing.
Yes. Okay. How do I say this?
10 seconds.
Drawing something records, whatever
skip.
that thing was. No.
Skip.
All right.
Skip. Okay. Beautiful game that you love that has antlers. I don't know. Okay.
Patoku.
Skip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Time. All right, you did pretty good for that.
After the first minute, we got one.
Yeah,
That was pretty good.
for
After
not
I
being able
messed
to
up
do
at the end there.
pictures.
Yeah.
I did not think you were going to be able to.
Monstrosity, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Doing there.
I guess you could technically say monster. Could you
I
say
felt
monster?
like-
Yeah, I think you could say monster
All right, that's
probably
right.
because
It said
the word
mons.
monster is
How
not
many
in
do
the
we
game.
get?
You got you skipped a
Probably
couple,
like
so you got 21 of 30.
Okay.
That's not that bad.
That's not bad. After the rough start.
If pictures would have that took about 20 seconds.
Yeah,
That
you're
was a
right.
rough
I
That
could've
was
said
like 20 to 30
photograph.
seconds.
Yeah.
Photographs, that's it. Boom, done. But you're on the spot. You don't know. I'm just sitting
Yeah.
here
I know.
watching. And yeah, don't say yeah. I'm saying I'm sticking up for you. All right, so for the top 5 of the episode, I looked back at our list because I have a list of all of our top 5s we've ever done. Can you guys believe
Yeah.
we've never done top 5 dice games before?
No.
No.
I look at our list
weird.
all the time and I'm like, we've done them all. What the fuck are we going to do this time? And I was like, we haven't done dice games. We've done way back in episode 19, before Jeff was even on the show, we did top 5 games that use dice in interesting ways.
I wasn't even a part of that one.
I feel like we've done that with Jeff.
It was episode 19. Maybe you guessed it. Maybe you guest hosted. You might have guessed it on that
I
one.
thought it was like 20 something.
I
You
feel
didn't
like
join
we did it,
until
like, not
26,
that long
right?
ago, like a year ago.
Yeah,
Maybe we did.
26.
Maybe we did something else in interesting ways.
Games that use dice in interesting ways was episode 19. That's all I know. And so
Maybe we did like cards. Games use cards in interesting ways or something.
maybe. So we haven't done top 5 dice games. So when we
5
say top 5 dice games, I don't mean top 5 games that just happen to have dice in them. We're talking about games where dice is the primary focus of the game.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you like dice, you're going to like this game.
Right.
Like you like chucking dice,
You're
flicking
chucking dice, you're fucking
stacking
dice.
them, fucking them,
But I wouldn't put
licking them,
but I
popping
wouldn't
it.
but I wouldn't put a game like Castles of Burgundy in here, right? Or
Yeah, I don't have any like dice worker placement games.
Right.
yeah, I wouldn't because I wouldn't call that a dice game.
Like if the main part of the game is using
the main mechanism
dice.
is dice. I mean, I guess you could say that Castles of Burgundy, the main
I have fuck this
mechanism is
list. Who
rolling
cares?
But again, you wouldn't call Castles of Burgundy
Yeah.
a dice game,
Right.
You're right.
I would.
right?
Somebody
so,
might.
let's start
not me.
with Natalie, and then we'll go me, and we'll end with Jeff. All right.
right.
So, Natalie, why don't you start us off with your number 5?
My number
What's your
5 is the
dice game?
diciest dice game there is, and it's called Strike.
Strike.
Ooh,
That
I
is
will
a
strike
All you do is
that
roll
on my
dice in a
list.
dome. The end.
In a dome.
A little like dome bin.
An upside down dome.
It's in a. Do you know what a dome is?
You should have.
Well, I imagine it has if it was like not
It's an arena.
An arena.
Yeah, a dome
Bowl
is like
would've
what
been
Pauly
closer.
Shore was
You're
in.
right.
Pauly Shore.
Biodome.
All right, number 5 for me. This is a game. I can't believe this has actually stayed in my collection this long. It's I for some reason I just really love this
Is
game.
that old ass game?
Ass game.
I don't think it's an old ass game. Oh, you mean Can't Stop?
Yeah.
No, that should be on here. We'll see.
Is
If,
it
we'll
not
see
on
if it's
your
on.
list?
It's not on my list.
Oh,
We'll see if it's
my
on
number
Jeff.
5.
So
I hate it.
Good.
okay.
I'm circling it.
So number 5 for me is a game that I like to play around at the Halloween time. It's like a Yahtzee kind of style game. It's called Run, Fight, or Die. Have
yeah.
I ever played that with you?
Oh yeah.
Once. Long time.
I
ago.
mean, I've had it since like 2012.
You still have
Yeah,
it?
that's pretty dicey.
It's
Wow,
weird that I do.
dicey.
I look at it and I'm like, I actually really like that game. And
Cameron likes
I play
it,
with Cameron
yeah.
around Halloween
Okay.
sometimes, and we really like it. So that's my number 5. Run, Fight, or Die. It's a good dice
My
game.
number 5 is Can't Stop, Natalie. Can't stop.
Can't
coming,
stop.
Natalie.
I can't stop loving
Can't
that
stop.
game.
Can't stop, Natalie.
can't
Stop,
stop.
won't stop.
Natalie, why do you hate that game? You don't like adding?
Push your luck.
Push
Is
your,
why.
No,
Yeah.
push your luck.
Push your luck. She fucking hates games with
stop.
Push Your
I
Luck.
haven't-
Even though Quacks Quedlinburg
Yeah.
That's
is one of her
different.
favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
It's different.
it's
This
different.
is literally
It's
just
fucking
like
different.
I know.
push your luck only. That's the whole game.
I know. It's my number 5. I picked it. Have you seen the new version? There's like a new one.
Ours is like from the 70s.
Oh, I have seen the new
80s, but
version.
I have that
I have
too.
seen the new version. Yeah.
I have the old. It's still kind of the old one, but it's not the old one.
What color
It's
is
the
it?
middle one.
Is it still a stop
It's still a
sign?
stop sign,
But it looks nicer.
but it has the cones and not the
Oh, I've done sure.
squares.
Right.
Right, you have the
The
squares.
I have the
You have cones.
They're not
or I have
cones.
squares.
Okay, they're like squares and they come to a point. But I wouldn't call them cones.
Okay, but yeah,
yours
yeah.
are like more coney.
Coney. I'll
Coney
look at
Island.
mine.
Racist. I don't think we should say that.
It's like a coney dog.
Yeah, I don't know what mine. I don't know if I would call mine cones or square. But anyway, Can't Stop, number 5 dice game.
Great one. Natalie,
Good
what's number
job.
4?
My number 4 is called Tumbling Dice, where you're flicking dice down a tumble of
You
stairs.
sure
A
are.
tumble of stairs.
One tumble.
What would you call those stairs? That's a tumble of stairs.
It's a tumble. How many
many
stairs
is
are
that?
The
there?
dice are
tumble.
tumbling
Like
down
you
the
have
stairs.
about 3 tumbles.
3 tumbles of stairs
tumbles
compared
get
to
down.
the tumbling dice
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah.
Great. Number 4 for me is a game I used to talk about way back on the show all the time, though. I talk about it a lot. I love this game. It's called Alia Iacta Est.
Oh, yeah. That's
One of my favorite dice games, still in my collection. It's been re-implemented by a game called, I think, the Gilded Compass.
Oh, yeah. That's I think.
Or the Golden Compass.
No.
Is that a movie?
I think it's a movie. I think it might be the
It's
Gilded.
re-implemented by a movie.
I'm going to look
I
it
think
up.
it's Gilded.
It sounds like an exciting movie. These dice is walking around.
Alia Iacta Est. I'm looking at it right now.
Is that the one with like the latrine? Or
Yeah. Order of the Gilded Compass is what it was,
You got most of that
re-implemented
right.
by. Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
close. That's one of my favorite dice games of all time. It's really, really fun, and
is.
I like it a lot. Jeff, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Roll for the Galaxy.
Ooh.
The dice in that game are so fucking cool.
They are really cool.
They're like so
all unique.
little, and you get like a cup, and you shake it up, and you dump it out.
Shaky, shake.
It's like it makes you feel. The only reason anybody liked Yahtzee was to put the dice
Oh,
in the
yeah.
cup and roll them out.
Yeah, the red
and if you
cup.
had the old one, have you ever seen like the leather cup?
Yeah.
like the old,
I
the
have
old
seen
one
the
with like
leather
almost
cup.
like felt
That's
on the
better.
inside.
Ostentatious.
Anyway, this is still plastic, but the dice are so cool, and for some reason, tiny dice are like fun.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I
they're
haven't
so
played that
cute.
since like 2014.
I like
whenever
tiny
you got
dice.
it.
It's one of Dave really likes that game too, so he picks it randomly, which I like because I just enjoy that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've never played it, you should.
Yeah.
And
good
if you
game.
like Race for the Galaxy, this is just
Have
as
I
good.
played
It's
it?
the roll. No, you haven't.
It's the roll
think
version.
so.
Yeah, it's the roll
It's a
version of
dicey
Race.
version.
Natalie, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Las Vegas.
Damn it.
What is yours?
My
too?
number 3 is Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
That game is like so simple, but for some reason it like never gets old.
I agree with you.
It's so strange.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It is like there's nothing to it. You are literally just rolling your dice and then picking all of one number that you rolled to place on one of the 6 casinos to try
Get
to win money.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's
Why
not
is it
like-
so fun,
There's no
though? I
depth.
don't know.
Yeah.
There isn't. There's no depth at all. It's like the nothingest game. Rudiger Dorn really hit the nail
You're
on the
like,
fucking
yeah,
head
I
there.
rolled 2 6s. I'm gonna go there.
I'm gonna
That's
go
it.
there.
Yeah.
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 Gotta hope I roll another 6. before
Yeah,
somebody else
right.
does.
Oh god, you just beat me there. It's like the stupidest little thing.
Yeah.
It's really good. Jeff,
It is.
what is your number 3?
My number 3 is not necessarily a game that I love, but uses dice in a really cool way called Blueprints.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man,
that is
Blueprints
cool.
is cool.
Yeah.
It's
I would
not-
still call that a dice game.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
for
It's not
sure.
necessarily like a
Yeah.
like a rolling.
Do you
like-
have dice blueprints?
No,
Okay.
I've only played with you the
Gotcha.
handful of times
Yeah.
that you played it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you're like trying to like make the shape or
Yeah.
like the
Yep.
With the
3D,
you're building up
like,
3D.
and
Yeah.
it's just a cool way to utilize dice.
Agreed.
It is.
Yeah, that was a good game. Natalie, what was your number 2?
My number 2,
Oh boy.
it's Twa Dice.
Oh,
really
really?
like that game.
Okay, Twa the dice game.
Now, on the opposite
Quad
of roll
the
the dice,
dice game.
big dice in that game, right?
Huge,
Yes.
and they're like see-through.
Kind of like what's
Right.
that Stonemeyer game?
What's it called?
Come on, Nat.
I don't know.
You like it? It's got all the packs. Rolling Realms.
Rolling Realms.
Rolling Realms.
Yeah,
Big dice. They have big dice.
Those are
Yeah.
even bigger, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, number 2 for me. Natalie said it. There's a tumble of dice, and it's called Tumbling Dice.
tumble
I
of
mean,
dice.
I'm talking about dice games. That's one of the fucking
You
best
got
dice
it.
games
Yeah,
there are.
I figured you guys would say Tumbling Dice and Strike. So I was
right.
like,
I know. I was like, it'll probably be on at least one of
feel
our
like-
lists,
are
but
we
you
gonna-
can't not say Tumbling Dice.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah,
not say
yeah.
it. Jeff, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is I'm gonna lump these 3 games into my number 2. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kingsburg /
Okay.
Kingsport Festival
Okay.
/ a game called Favor of the Pharaoh.
Ooh, so there are dice worker placement games on here.
Yeah, but that's like you just roll them and they're just there,
Yeah, it is a dice game.
right? Like,
You're right. There's not much
I don't know,
more
to
to
me,
it
it
other than
wasn't-
placing
No, it is. Those are dice games.
the dice. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
more Favor of the Pharaoh is more of a random. You roll them.
I haven't
and
played
then
Favor of the
that's what kind
Pharaoh.
of does.
Right.
I don't like it.
Like Castle Burgundy, you're like taking the tiles and building your thing. I feel like Kingsburg is more just like
Like that's what you just got. Like you
You
just
roll a
kinda
die and then you're
Place
placing them out
it.
So
there.
maybe it
That's-
is. Maybe I.
No, I think
I think that
you're.
counts.
Cut this part out. Shut this part out.
no.
They don't have to be saying that.
Natalie, what's your number 1?
I feel like our number ones are the same.
Nope, you're wrong. Natalie, what's your
Okay.
number 1?
My number 1 is very clearly Sagrada.
Oh.
It's not my number 1.
No, me neither.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love
No,
Sagrada.
Sagrada's on my list for sure.
It's
that I
got
wrote down.
In
pretty
your short list?
colored dice, stained glass theme. Put them in the little things.
Sagrada is such a great game.
It's a good
Yep.
one.
That
what about
is- that-
Sagrada
oh.
Artisans? Oh wait.
I like it.
I like Sagrada Artisans. I don't like the legacy parts of it, but the actual roll and write part, or like you're like coloring on them. Oh,
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
fun. Number 1 for me, Natalie said it as her number 5, I think. And this is my favorite dice game I've ever played. It's Strike.
Yeah. Another one that's like so simple but never gets old.
But what I love about Strike so much is that I've said this to people, and it's always hit where I'm like, I don't even want you to look at anything up about this game. Just
Yeah.
go buy it. Just go buy it and play it, and I promise you, you can't not have fun. That's a game. I don't think it's a stupid little game. I don't think you can play Strike and not have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even have like a Harry Potter version.
Yeah, they have a Harry Potter version.
It's all the
Weird.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
it's
Harry
really-
Potter about it?
The little symbols
Just
on the
symbols.
dice.
Absolutely
Oh.
nothing other than
Yeah, they're like
symbols.
colored.
Just
in
so they can
different
charge
ways,
more
like a
money because it
wand
has
and-
like the Harry Potter name.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's again that game is it's such a great iconic dice game. That's why it's a fucking essential.
For
So,
sure.
Jeff, what about you?
Well, in that same thing, other than putting Strike on there, I'm going to say the game that I've played probably like 60 times at the end of game night is called Draconic Dice.
Yeah, tell me about that game. I don't know anything about it.
It's like left, center, right
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
with dragons.
Is it really the same game as left
Pretty
Center, Right?
much. So you have 5 or 6 dice, depending on how many people. You roll them, and you try to get rid of your dice. Okay, so you roll them. The flames go in the middle, and if you don't roll a flame, you got to take all the ones from the middle. And then if you roll a dragon, you can hand to other people. And if you roll this thing with the helmet on it, you just discard it. Then you try to run
So
out
it's
of
like
dice.
the same rules, it's just different
Oh
symbols.
yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, but it's fun.
It's not worth having, but it's fun.
So don't go buy Jeff's
I
number
mean, like,
one.
don't go buy it, but it's so stupid.
But if you want to have fun, buy it.
Like it would be like it's like ending the game with Strike, ending
Yeah.
the night with Strike. You just
Yeah,
roll the dice in there,
right.
you
It's
laugh,
the same
and then you move
simplicity,
on.
but it's just so fun.
Yeah, and you could literally like Natalie, you could pick up the dice and roll and be like, all right, let's play, and you could roll and win.
yeah.
And it's over. I don't know. I think we might have
Or
won
like roll
on
and be out.
maybe not the first roll, but like someone's first roll.
Yeah.
I think we've won on someone's won. And
That's
you just do it again.
hilarious.
It's
You
so
just go
stupid.
again. Oh my
Right.
gosh!
Yeah.
But that
And
probably
it's just-
provides some really fun
Yeah,
moments.
goofy stuff. If
There's
you like
something to
rolling
games
dice.
that like you just like kind of roll the dice and you don't have to like think. You just like
Yeah.
look and see what happens and follow the rules.
All right, for the first time ever on the show, I want to call our shot next episode. I want to do top 5 Euro games that use dice.
Okay.
Oh.
That's what I want to
Euro.
do. Not
All
just
right.
dice game.
I don't know why I'm writing this
Not
down.
just dice game.
know.
Do you have any honorable dice game mentions?
I only wrote 5. I could come up with 1,000 of them. I
just said
think a
roll
lot of the
for
ones.
it.
Roll for
Roll
it.
for it. That's a
Yeah, I tried
dice
to go
game.
different. These aren't
That's a
necessarily
dice
my
game.
favorite.
Ryan James.
Yikes. Nah, it's okay.
I have like Unearth is a cool
happy you like
dice game. Unearth.
Yep.
There's like 6-sided dice and 8-sided die and 12 and 20 and something
Right.
like that. I wrote Lords of Vegas,
That's a great one.
which I was like, which I think Dice City is one. Again, if you're just trying to find like games with, like, if you just like dice,
Yeah.
you want that. I wrote a game that Ryan and I are going to review soon. It's an old ass game called D-Day Dice.
Fuck.
It has
yes.
dice right in the fucking
Fuck
name.
yes,
name.
that game. Oh my god, I want to give that a review right now.
Machi Koro is a game that would probably come up on people's lists. I'm
Oh,
talking about
right.
dice shit, Sagrada, all the roll and write game ever made in the history of.
Yeah, exactly. Roll and
I
write
know,
game.
I also thought, I'm like, should I
Gotcha
say,
Clever.
should I say like Camel Up? Like
Yeah,
the dice come out of the pyramid,
The
which
pyramid
is really cool.
with that little rubber band thing. Yeah,
But
that's cool.
That's kind of what I got for Sushi Roll and says Sushi.
Yep. I don't know if I've ever
Yeah.
played Sushi Roll.
I have a couple times.
I don't think.
Meh.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Not. I mean, what are you gonna do?
So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store. Please follow me and consider subscribing on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamecasters. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I'm Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.
know. I'm in your ear hole. Okay. Testing. Testing one.
Testing all our ear
Testing in
holes.
your ear holes.
Oh, my ear hole.
Should I shove
are
my
we testing
D-hole
our
in your ear hole?
Or we're testing our
How do you
mouth
test an
hole?
ear hole? Do you put something
I think it's
inside
just
of
like
the
a
ear
hearing
hole?
test.
Okay.
So this isn't a hearing test. This is a mouth. This is a mouth hole test.
Mouth hole test. Oh,
Can you
It's
hear
a
our
mouth
mouth
to ear
hole?
test.
Can you hear our mouth hole?
this is what I feel like a mouth hole would sound like. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.